Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with GhanaTalks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With GhanaTalks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. GhanaTalks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. GhanaTalks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
Hello Ghana, hello worldwide, I'm with level band. Now listen, every Tuesday and Friday, beyond the time it's going to carry bro. Our GhanaTalks Radio, 7 p.m. sharp. Now Tuesday, we're gonna talk about our culture, our history. Matuni ding setete abako sem. Now on the Friday, you bars on bars. You better rap, you better say it. No artists go join me in the studio. We're gonna discuss about music and business. Konya, or you singer, and now you rapper, you think say you get bars. You go be spit fire. Now listen, make you join me with studios. Our GhanaTalks Radio and you say then our day. Me say download the GhanaTalks Radio app no our Play Store and the App Store. Na tune in and say this what you see baba live on Facebook, ko Instagram, any GhanaTalks Radio page and so now listen. E be your fire. 1 year, Konya, Wading, Jajan.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on GhanaTalks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials. From Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adoso,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show.
To politics, from sports to entertainment and everything in between. We got you covered with the most relevant stories. And as usual, I remain your host, Esinam Fiagbedu. And you know I can do this alone. So I have sitting with me in the chair is Miss Regina Bless and Miss W. Adorso. She'll be joining us shortly. Good morning, Miss Regina.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
I'm fine. How was the weekend for you? Cool. Any extra work?
No.
Oh, anyways, I love your pink. It's giving tokonu.
Hey!
You know, I saw her wearing something like that sometime.
Please.
Chief Justice.
If you do that, very soon meaning they'll suspend me here. Don't relate me to her at all.
Oh my goodness. No one is going to suspend you. But I love your dress, by the way.
Thank you. I also love you.
Oh,
It's
thank
a
you so
suit,
much. Yeah,
coat.
it's a blazer.
It's a blazer.
Yeah, this is sister.
I
Thank
love
you.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, sister. Thank you.
All right, so let's dive straight into our news headline for this morning. Ghana secures major bilateral deals with Morocco in education, aviation, and trade. Ghana and Morocco have entered a new era of strategic partnership following a successful high-level diplomatic mission led by Ghana's Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. The visit, marked by a series of groundbreaking agreements, is poised to significantly enhance cooperation between the two nations in education, agriculture, aviation, and trade. Describing the outcome of the visit as a transformational leap in Ghana-Morocco relations, Ablakwa said the agreements reflect a bold commitment to deliver tangible benefit to the Ghanaian people. He said, "This is not just diplomacy, it is delivery," the Foreign Affairs Minister stated. He added, "We are empowering our students, supporting our farmers, training our pilots, and attracting investment into industries that matter most to Ghanaians." One of the most immediate benefits of the new cooperation is the doubling of scholarships offered by the Moroccan government to Ghanaian students, rising from 70 to 140 annually. This expansion, Ablakwa noted, will open doors for many young Ghanaians seeking advanced education opportunities abroad, especially in technical and professional fields. On agriculture, Morocco has committed to bolstering Ghana's food security with a free donation of 2,000 tons of fertilizer to Ghanaian farmers. In addition, the two nations agreed to collaborate on the construction of a modern fertilizer manufacturing plant right here in Ghana, backed by Moroccan technical expertise, a move expected to reduce Ghana's reliance on imported fertilizers and stabilize agricultural production. The revival of Ghana Airways, an ambitious dream under President John Dramani Mahama's administration, also received attention as part of the aviation cooperation framework. Ghanaian youth will be trained as pilots at Morocco's Aviation Academy. Ablakwa underscored the significance of this initiative, calling it a critical investment in building Ghana's future aviation capacity. Education and youth development were at the heart of several of the agreements. In the reciprocal agreement, Moroccan students will soon have the opportunity to study at Ghana's Maritime University and other institutions of higher learning. Mr. Ablakwa stated, this exchange would deepen people-to-people ties and foster a shared future between two countries. Yeah. So that is it. And this is coming from the Minister for Foreign Affairs in the person of Mr. Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. Ghana secures major bilateral deals with Morocco in education, aviation, and trade. And I think in the article we also saw agriculture as well, where they were going to give us free fertilizer. And they're also planning to, establish fertilizer manufacturing company right here in Ghana. Ms. Regina, what do you make of it? What do you make of the collaboration?
When I saw it, I was really happy.
How?
I was like, now I'll just get my Ghana card, go and just travel to Morocco.
I see.
No visa. Just, I believe the only tangible or valid card you need is your Ghana card.
Yeah.
Since it's now, should I say, the major identification card we deal with in both our transactions, in both our either schooling or whatsoever, even business, we deal with Ghana card.
Yeah.
So since it is the major factor, You just go to Morocco, just with your Ghana card, no visa. This is not an issue of I don't even have money for visa. I'm now about to go to, should I say, look for an agent to help me with. First off, you don't even have a passport. You need to go through all this process, and also you get a visa before you get to Morocco. Now that is not there, I believe it's very good.
You get it.
But aside this visa waiver agreement, we also looking at the education diplomacy. Now about 90%. First, they gave 90% of scholarship to Ghanaians. Now it has moved to, if I'm not mistaken, 140, 170, 180 thereabouts. It means now we have access to free education and quality education. And also this is now a time where you need to spend a whole lot of money on this. It's something free, and also they also tend to benefit from us. And also looking at the agricultural sector, they'll also benefit from us. So this is an agreement I feel that is reasonable, first off, and also it would help both countries because we are both African countries. And I also believe that this is just a tip of the iceberg. I believe in our foreign minister. He should just get more deals for us, more visa free. You just enter a country, visa.
Why are you vouching for visa free?
The visa there is very important. So right now, if they say USA visa free, you no go.
Donald Trump.
Okay, let's move Donald Trump. Dubai. Abi you go. We'll go. Even if you have to borrow money, we'll borrow money and go. We'll go and work, then we'll pay off that loan.
Then you'll come back.
We will not come back. You'll come back.
I know. I'll not come back.
I'll even come and take my family out.
Okay, nice. Yeah.
So it's good because we have the education diplomacy, the visa waiver agreement, and also the fertilizer plan. We gain access to affordable and free education, especially in the critical sectors, the medicine, engineering, and all that, and also industrial value via the fertilizer plants they also added, and also stronger trade partnership. And lastly, the aviation benefit. There are a lot of people right in Ghana who would aspire or who would want to be a pilot, but if you have the opportunity to get the scholarship, and please, the scholarship, scholarship is seen.
Yeah, so
they shouldn't think that it's just for anyone. No, now I just scholarship. It's for intelligent but needy people. I believe so.
So Morocco will now offer 140 scholarship per year to Ghanaian students, up from 70. So initially they used to take just 70 people, but now they've doubled it to 140. This means that more Ghanaians can study in Morocco, especially in technical and professional fields, which can improve Ghana's skilled workforce.
It's good.
Yeah, and aside that, students from Morocco can also come to Ghana and study. And now they are going to be admitted into the Maritime University. This will also build mutual understanding and stronger people-to-people ties between the two countries. Now, let's move to agriculture, fertilizer donation. Morocco will give Ghanaian farmers 2,000 tons of fertilizer for free. You know, we import fertilizer from other countries. And now Morocco is going to be giving us free fertilizer. 2,000 tons of fertilizer for free. This will help farmers increase productivity and support food security as well. So it means that people wouldn't have to, a time is coming, we wouldn't have to, be importing fertilizer, because there's going to be a fertilizer factory. A new fertilizer plant will be built in Ghana with Moroccan help. This will reduce Ghana's dependency on imported fertilizers and create jobs for investments locally. Now, let's go to aviation. President John Dramani Mahama wants to revive the Ghana Airways again. Morocco is giving us free training. They are collaborating with us to train some pilots. So young Ghanaians will be trained as pilots in Morocco's aviation academy. this support is a long-term goal to revive Ghana's airways and grow the aviation industry. What do you make of it? How many pilots do we have right here in Ghana? Yes, because
as I said, I believe that most youth want to indulge themselves in this kind of a thing, pilots and all that, because it's a very nice business. And aside, should I say, maybe the uniform, it's a lucrative business, and you get to also explore the world because you're a pilot.
Right.
You get to even see the universe, you get to see the space, you get to see, if I'm not mistaken, definitely you see moon and sun. You see it.
Oh.
Okay, so that was just by the way.
Yeah.
It's a very lucrative thing, and it's a lucrative business. So I believe that the youth of Ghana would grab this opportunity. This opportunity comes but once. So if this opportunity has been presented at our doorstep, we should grab it. You very soon you not see me here. Me too, I'll go and train so that I'll travel.
You travel?
Yes.
I see. That's nice. Miss Debbie, good morning. How are you doing? You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, so before you entered, we were actually discussing the deal Ghana has just secured with Morocco in terms of education, aviation, and then trade. So I wanted to ask, what's your view on it as a general citizen? What do you make of it?
I think it's a good one because as a country we cannot do it alone. That is why it's good to collaborate with other countries, and collaborating with other countries also means that anything where there is opportunity in the country, they alert you, and then when there's opportunity in Ghana, they also alert other country. I think some time ago Ghana was giving scholarship to students outside Ghana to come and study here. So I feel like it's a good one. The best thing we can do is just to take advantage of it and explore ourselves. Yes.
Yeah. All right. And that was from Miss Debbie. Moving on to our next story. Minority accuses government of neglecting local contractors, warn of rising unemployment. The minority caucus in Parliament has raised concerns over what it's described as an economic injustice against local contractors. According to the group, delays by the government in releasing funds for payments have forced several local contractors to lay off workers, with some shutting down operations entirely. The group accused the government of prioritizing payments to foreign contractors over local ones and called on the finance minister to urgently address the issue. And this is coming from Alexander Afenyo Markin. When the contractors are not paid, it is not just about them. The workers, the effect on creating more unemployment and the livelihood of the family and dependent. These are matters that must be of concern to us. The cascading effects of these non-payments are very profound, and we all know as a house, minority leader Alexander Afenyo Markin. Those were his words. Minister for Roads and Highways Kwame Governor, in response, assured that local contractors will be paid. He said, "We are going to pay contractors, including contractors in the minority leaders' constituency. The only thing is that you are good at identifying contractors who haven't been paid, but you forget to pay them all the time. I can guarantee you the contractors will be paid." And this is coming from the Minister for Roads and Highways. The minority further alleged that Parliament itself is facing financial constraints, claiming that funds for its operations are being withheld. Yeah, so this is coming from the minority. You know, the minority for some time now has been on the neck of the NDC. People think it's a good thing. It's good for the minority to be on the neck of the NDC, you know, to criticize their work and make sure that they are put on their toes. But when the NDC was minority, I don't think we were seeing things like this. Are they suffering already? Are the minority suffering already? Because it's going to take 4 years. Yeah, so I think you have to endure that. So brace yourself. There are more, press conferences to come. and someone is saying that at the rate at which the minority is going for conferences, their press conferences will be more than their votes very soon.
I wonder.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was just by the way anyway. So that is coming from the minority, and they're accusing government of neglecting local contractors. And they say this is a warning and to rising unemployment right here in the country. What do you make of it?
Rising unemployment.
Yes. Because if they don't pay them, their company will have to shut down, and they render these people jobless. Because if you've not paid them, how do you intend them to work?
So let's be factual.
Okay.
NDC came into power as when was he even sworn in? Was it 7th of January?
Yes.
7th January, February, March, April, May, June. This administration is in their 6th month of power. Now he's trying to say that paying them, not paying them would create unemployment. So 8 years of their time, what did they do? Did they pay these people? And I'm happy with what Agboja said. That it's quite surprising that you are only identifying, not you are only identifying them not being paid under this administration.
But you did not pay them.
You see, sometimes, sorry to say this and excuse my words, they say empty vessels makes the most noise.
So you think the minority is making too much noise?
Making too much noise.
Okay.
This brings me to what he went on one national television to say, that he's yet to start with this administration. Just a more is to come. He will show them pepe, and they'll also show you kibo pepe. Kibo pepe is hotter. But on a more serious note, I think the government or this current administration is doing their possible best to make sure that they pay these people. Even under the past administration, some people up to now have still not been paid. And this is just the beginning of the term for President John Dramani Mahama. It's like they're handing a bankrupt company to you. You go through a lot of stress. You go through a lot of hurdles. But it's up to a leader to make sure that his followers or his subordinates are being fed. And I believe that is what the president is doing. He's trying his possible best, from paying of debt to making sure that they secure jobs for people, to making sure that the economy or our economy is being stabilized. It's a whole lot of job. It's a very whole lot of job. It's a whole lot of job. It's a job. It's a job.
Anyway, anyhow, we understand. So the minority in parliament says the government is delaying payment on to local contractors. And this delay has caused job losses and shutdowns of local construction and service businesses.
Under their administration, a lot of businesses left this country.
Oh, really?
A lot
I think
of
global
businesses
was collapsed.
Yeah,
left this country.
Global left.
So you see, empty barrels makes the most noise. We understand you that you are bleeding, but I believe that the best thing you can do is to collaborate with the majority to find measures or to bring measures in place that would help the country grow. Grow.
Yeah, the country needs to grow as well.
Yes, the country needs to grow too. So if they are finding it difficult, as one minister also said, even in parliament, they are facing financial issues, even in parliament. So as a minority leader, exhibit the characteristics of a leader. And not a boss, because I feel that what Afenyo Makin is doing, he wants to be superior, he wants to be known, but you can't be known in this kind of way. Collaborate. They say two heads are better than one. You don't leave it for only the majority in parliament, or you don't leave it for only the NDC in parliament to do the job. When MPP was in power, NDC was helping. In as much as there were some taxes, or in as much as there were some things you guys were not seeing eye to eye to, but I believe they didn't give you all the stress. If you're at fault, they would blast you. If they are supposed to demonstrate, they will go on a demonstration. But it looks like the NPP has taken this thing in a whole different, should I say, they've personalized it. Now they are using sentiments. When you are working, put sentiment aside. The growth of the country, the growth of the economy, even the growth of parliament is what I believe should be at the heart of everyone. This is not the time to be cautioning blame. If we say we are to play the blame game, and if at the end of the day the blame game we are playing needs arrest, imagine the kind of people who will be arrested in this country. A lot of people will be, even Afenyo Makin, he'll be arrested. He was ECG. He was part of the board directors, but a whole lot of things are going wrong in the ECG sector, but no one is talking. We are just enduring. So this is not the time to be talking cho.
So in a way, from the article, it looks like there's an alleged favoritism because the minority is accusing the government of prioritizing foreign contractors over local ones in making payments. She said they pay the white people, then they leave the local people because the local people there you can negotiate with them. Oh, meet you, and bad that.
When he said the favoritism, and it's drew my attention to the statement he made in Parliament. You see, when they went for the demo, Obi Chan and Nasi taking off his shoes.
Oh, okay.
He came in Parliament to say that even the cameramen are doing politics. They are doing politics. I was like, hey, this man, do you have to say this? Is this what is needed? But if I don't know the evidence or what's the fact that he's based on saying that the government is doing favoritism, should I say, is paying more attention to the international contractors more than the local contractors. I believe that they need to pay attention more to the local contractors first before even pay attention to any other person, because family comes first.
Yeah, Miss Debbie.
Well, I think since the current administration came to power, I've not heard them awarding contract to anybody, which we will say that maybe they've awarded a 2,000 contract to someone to construct this, to construct that, and then at the end of the day, they are not being paid. They are actually trying to put together what has already been distorted by the previous administration. So if you are saying that contractors are not paid, I believe those contractors were people that were not paid under your administration. So if you are calling on the government to pay them, it's in the right direction. But then you should know how you are going to relay the information. Because like these nurses that are going on demonstration, it started way back during the previous administration. You didn't pay them, and now they are now mounting pressure on the current administration. You see, so all these things are problems you've left behind. So as a good person or as a normal person, what are you supposed to do? You confront the government, but you confront the government in a way that you make it known to him. We are supposed to do this, but we didn't do it. And now they are mounting pressure on you. And trust me, the pressure is too much because nurses are calling, teachers are calling. I mean, other institutions are calling on the government. And now you are also bringing contractors in. Definitely, they are going to pay the contractors. But I'm sure it's going to take time because the government coming in he also has his plans. He has things he is supposed to do. And definitely he's going to pay attention to them, but it will take time. This is a process, something. And it's also. But you see, the minority, they are trying to make themselves irrelevant. They're not doing this to make them relevant. It's to make people get to know them the more. That okay, fine, we are minority, but we are not. It's like they are minority, but they are seeing themselves as majority. No, if you talk too much, you talk rubbish. At the end of the day, you end up saying things that does not even make sense. And you see, Omakasama, excuse my words, it's like now that this thing is not functioning properly. Because as a whole minority caucus, if it is functioning properly, will you go and sit on the street? Will you go and sit on the street?
They were just trying to save their own.
Save their own as in what? It doesn't make sense.
So you do anything in your power.
No, it doesn't.
On the floor.
So your own. the person have done the wrong thing, and instead of you to correct the person, you are trying to back the person. Even if you do that, do it back doors. Don't let it be known to the citizen that this is what you are up to. In the sight of the citizen, Mamu will say you are in for the job, but behind the scene, let the person know that you are behind the person. But you don't do it public for everybody to know that you guilty and not guilty. You see, so the minority, they think they are being relevant or they are being known because every second they're on the news. You are rather making yourself irrelevant, and you are degrading the integrity of the party.
So Mr. Agboja gave a very funny response saying, yes, we will pay all the contractors. Even in your area, we will pay them. And then he then criticized the opposition for complaining, not paying contractors when they were in power. They were able to identify that these contractors haven't been paid. But when they were in power, they didn't pay them. So in a way, what do you make of it? Do you think right now it's like the previous governments have left a burden for the new government to,
They
come
did.
in? Wow.
They did.
All right, let's move on to our next news story. I oppose publishing asset declaration. It's unhelpful, and this is coming from Kisi Ejabin. The special prosecutor, Kisi Ejabin, has dismissed calls for the public disclosure of asset declaration by public officers, arguing that such a move will be counterproductive and could expose individuals to unnecessary risks. Speaking at the high-level conference on Ghana's anti-corruption architecture, held under the theme Revitalizing the Anti-Corruption Architecture in Africa, Ghana's Accountability Journey, he stated firmly that he does not support the idea of making declared assets available for public scrutiny. He said, I do not and I will not add my voice to call for publication of assets for public scrutiny. In our experience, it will be unhelpful and would merely subject public officers to inordinate public curiosity and the specter of the real livelihood of against their assets. The special prosecutor emphasized that instead of full public disclosure, what will strengthen the system is transparency and functional framework that verifies asset declaration and ensures compliance. His comments come amid growing public demand for increased transparency and accountability among public officials, particularly regarding wealth accumulation while in office. Civil society groups and anti-corruption campaigners have often advocated for the full publication of asset declaration to deter corruption and promote integrity. However, Mr. Kisi insists that striking a balance between transparency and the protection of individuals' rights remain essential for an effective anti-corruption regimen. So yeah, this is coming from the special prosecutor in the person of Mr. Kisi Jabin, and he's against the asset declaration, making it known to the public. He said it's unhelpful.
But the president never said you need to declare your assets publicly.
But the issue is, some time ago, I think we had this discussion right here in the studio that even that law is even flawed, in a sense that when you declare your assets, even
It's
the
not
attorney,
being-
the
yeah.
auditor general doesn't even get to see it, if whether you are telling lies or not. So at least, I in my opinion, I'm not really into law or something, but in my opinion, I think that there should be some kind of like verification that indeed whatever that you've put on the
That
form
is what
is
you have.
yeah. So Kisi Jabin has added this voice that instead of it making it to the public, there should be someone to verify that indeed whatever that you've put in the form is actually true and not a lie.
He's an audit.
He's a lawyer.
Kisi Ejabin.
Yeah, Kisi, the special prosecutor.
OSP.
Yes, OSP.
I expect more from him because I don't know where it was stated that the assets declaration needs to be public, and I don't know the kind of thought he had before saying this.
So people are advocating, campaigners and then corruption society, anti-corruption society, advocating that they have declared their assets, but the
So it
public
should be
need to know.
Anymore.
So he's
Are they
against
lawyers?
so he's against it. That
Oh, Kisi
no,
Ejabin, sorry.
it's not supposed to be so, but at least there should be someone to verify. Because here lies the case: if the envelope is sealed, it's sealed.
Yeah,
Nobody
unless
gets.
an issue comes
Yeah.
up and they need to investigate your property.
Yeah.
That is where the
So
courts.
I think the law needs to be reviewed and then needs to be amended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For that side, I do
Yeah.
agree with you.
Because,
it should
yeah.
really be looked into.
Yeah, because anyone at all can just present an empty envelope or even an empty form and be like, that is me declaring my asset, which shouldn't be so, because nobody will be there to verify if indeed what you have put in there is indeed your assets. Like,
empty envelope na yedi
so Kisi Ejabin says he's against making the details of public officials' assets, such as like houses, land, bank accounts, the money you have in your accounts, your businesses, available to the public. He believes public disclosure can be harmful because it could create unnecessary public curiosity. People are nosy.
Very nosy.
People are very, very
Because
nosy.
how is that your business?
Like he gets it. So I own this business and then, oh, come on. It could
I should put it on social, because making it known to the public is through social
yeah,
media.
and
It's like
this,
you are selling yourself
yeah,
out.
and this could even expose the public
Yes.
officials to theft.
Exactly.
Once people know that you
me
have
go
this,
and steal it.
you'll be a target, and they'll start drawing a plan for you. So we pass here, this house, this is the business he has, and all of that. So yeah, he's against that. So he's suggesting a strong internal system to verify that public officials have honestly declared their assets. That ensures that people who are supposed to declare actually do so. So he proposes a middle ground, publicizing who has declared and who hasn't, without showing the actual assets.
Yeah,
So just
that is
as we
good.
saw on TV, on social media, everywhere, that President John Dramani Mahama has declared his assets. It should end there. But there should be like a middleman who is going to open the envelope
Yeah,
and
and
see
check it.
and check it
Yeah.
if indeed the president didn't lie to us, or if indeed it is the actual assets. So in a way, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I wanted to say, I don't know how true the news I saw is, because I've not cross-checked.
Question. That's fine.
That President Mahama is saying, for disobeying me, you forfeit 3 months of your salary.
Yeah. I think he said
It's
that in one
true.
of his speech when he was inaugurating the code of conduct. Yes.
And say,
Yeah, I saw that
okay.
in the
That
CCTV.
serves them right.
Yeah,
So
I
it
saw
means that the money would go into Mahama Care
Mahama Cares,
Foundation.
and I think that's a good cause.
That's nice.
That's a nice
You
strategy.
should give us 20% of the money and share it to the public.
Miss Debbie, what do you make of it?
Well, I think since people are calling to know what exactly is in what you are bringing, I mean your properties and stuff, that would be very risky on the part of the member of parliament. It's like you are selling yourself out. You are letting people know. And you know that we have good people and bad people in this country. But then I'll also say that then the statements of the president should be reviewed again. But declaring of assets is a good thing. It's very, very good. It's good for you to declare an asset, so that in the course of, you executing your activities in your tenure, and then it's come across that you are being involved in corruption and stuff and blah blah blah, and then we go to find out that can even vindicate you. So I feel like it's good. But in a case where you don't even know what is stated in it, then what is the essence? So as he said, I feel like if there will be a middleman, or there will be someone who will look into, even if nobody will look into it, I think the president can actually cross-check, what you've brought, so that like nipanon to me metro. So I feel like it should be reviewed again. But in a case where for public, there for you to make it know, oh, maybe I own 10 story buildings in 10 regions, any here your mom dear. But I feel like if nobody will see what it entails in that envelope you are bringing, that contains the assets you own, the president should at least go through and then know what each member owns. So that at the end of the day, if you are being found or associated in a crime that you feel like you are very innocent, that can actually help.
That can actually help. So the special prosecutor is not against accountability, but he thinks transparency should not endanger people or violate their privacy. You can declare your assets, but it's not right, or it's actually harmful for you to make it public. That is you evading somebody's privacy and you exposing the public officials to theft. Yeah. So that is it. Any last words, Miss Debbie, Miss Regina? Miss Debbie?
No. I think Nyakana.
So that is it. This is where we draw the curtains for the news review. Up next, we have Debbie's Grill.
Good morning and many thanks for joining me again on Debbie's Grill, where we talk about issues that concerns or issues that matters or matter to the state, void of politics, fear or favor. Now, the Special Prosecutor, Kisie Jabin, has described the Office of the Special Prosecutor as Ghana's strongest and most effective tool in the fight against corruption. Speaking at the high-level conference, Ghana's anti-corruption architecture, held on the theme Revitalizing the Anti-Corruption Architecture in Africa, Ghana's Accountability Journey, he highlighted the distinctive nature of the Office of the Special Prosecutor, describing it as a unique and never-before-seen remedy, specifically designed to address the long-standing shortcomings in Ghana's anti-corruption effort. Now, according to him, unlike previous approaches that lack full enforcement authority, the Office of the Special Prosecutor is empowered with genuine legal and prosecutorial powers, granting it full independence in initiating investigations and prosecuting corruption-related offenses. So this is basically from the Office of the Special Prosecutor and the Special Prosecutor, Kisie Ejabin. Now, when I saw this, I saw a lot of Ghanaians bashing him. We know that the Office of the Special Prosecutor is for investigating, deep investigation about matters that is associated with corruption. That is why the Office of the Special Prosecutor was brought up. And that office is mainly for investigating corruption-related cases, gathering all the necessary evidence needed, to know or to be 100% sure whether the person you are investigating about in one way or the other involved in corruption, whether the person is being guilty or not. That is basically what the Office of the Special Prosecutor is supposed to do. Now, the Office of the Special Prosecutor was established, for almost 8 years now. I stand to be corrected. But I haven't seen anyone being prosecuted. I haven't seen anyone being arrested or jailed. And I've heard a lot of people calling for the government, to crash down the Office of the Special Prosecutor and then channel it into another office. Some are also saying that the Office of the Special Prosecutor should be sacked and then a different person should be brought on board. And you see, it's quite very sad because we've seen cases or we've heard cases that are associated with corruption, and then at the end of the day we see nothing happening. So to the Special Prosecutor, is he trying to tell us that since he was appointed as the Special Prosecutor, he haven't noticed anyone that is so much involved into corruption? And it's fine, this haven't served him right of whether this person is guilty or not. just as he said in his speech, that the office of the special prosecutor, is Ghana's strongest and most effective tool in fighting against corruption. But since the office of the special prosecutor was established, personally, I haven't seen it fighting corruption as it's supposed to. Although we have the office of the special prosecutor, we still see a rise in corruption offenses and corruption cases in this country. We still see people that have been involved in corruption. And at the end of the day, we see nothing happening to them. The person will be brought out. This person will be notified that he's involved into corruption. The special prosecutor will let us know that he has evidence, solid evidence, backing his claims. But at the end of the day, we see absolutely nothing. And I must say that most of the time, these people are allowed to go scot-free. They are allowed to go just like that. So now, what is the benefits of the office of the special prosecutor? What is the essence of the office of the special prosecutor? If we have a whole, sector on its own, that is mainly to investigate into corruption. And then at the end of the day, that particular, sector is not able to arrest any person, is not able to arrest anybody involved in corruption. Then what is the use of that office? Then what is the essence of that office? Because that office was actually created for a purpose. And that purpose is to investigate into deep corruption cases. It's to hold people accountable. But we see nothing. And since 8 years, the special prosecutor, Christine Ejabin, has been, appointed. I haven't seen arresting anybody. He doesn't have the power to arrest, but then he has the power to investigate and ensure that he has the vivid evidence. And then he presents it to the court, and then the court takes it from there. But then, for me, I haven't seen any happening. So, is he trying to say that he has been in office for 8 years? There were no cases where people were involved in corruption, or there were cases where people were involved in it, but so we just don't want to talk about it because maybe this person is very prominent in the country, or because this person is or the person is well respected. Or should we say that the office of the special prosecutor are not being allowed to execute their mandate? Whatever is the case, Mr. Kisile Jabi, let us know, because it's there is a whole question mark. If for 8 good years we haven't arrested anyone involved in corruption, then what is the use of that office? Because you can't tell us that you have not received cases that involved, big public officials involved in corruption. And with the recent happening, it will be very sad if at the end of the day, some people are not being prosecuted in this country. It will be very, very, very sad on his part for creating our awareness about some political officials, some top public officials that have directed monies meant for the state, wrongfully embezzled from the state. And then at the end of the day, these people are allowed to go scot-free. Then the office needs to be collapsed. Because we cannot have a whole office that is meant to investigate into corruption. Then we see nothing. But you are also saying that the office of the special prosecutor is most effective in the fight against corruption. How many corruption cases have we fought? Has your office fought? How many people have been, pointed out that this person is involved in corruption? And yes, these are my evidence. That is 100% correct. that this person is involved in corruption and the person has been arrested, not even a single individual, not even an ant has been arrested. It's been 8 years and we are still counting. It's been 8 years and they are still declaring people fugitive. It's been 8 years and they are still declaring people wanted. And it ends there. I'm just praying that this current one does not end where we are not expecting it to end. Because we are expecting a lot from the office of the special prosecutor. And trust me, a lot of money are being pumped into the office. Because investigating about someone who is allegedly involved into corruption, you can't do it alone. You need the help of other people, other officers that can help. And finding out whether the person is culpable or whether the person is guilty or not. So I'm sure that the government is pumping money into the office. But we can't be pumping money into one office and then we see nothing happening. So Mr. Kisie Japin, in one way or the other, we are very disappointed in you. But then as the saying goes, there is more room for improvement. And we are still watching. We are expecting more from your office. And we hope that this wouldn't be a 9-day wonder. Thank you for making time with me on Debbie's Girl.
Thank you so much, Miss Debbie, for that girl. Miss Debbie says this. Miss Debbie says she is a bit, I shouldn't use bit, or largely, she is disappointed in the office of the special prosecutor. But before we go to Today in History, Miss Regina, let's rate the office of the special prosecutor.
0 over 100.
But Miss Regina, let's rate the office of the special. Do you think you think he's doing the do?
Let me justify her point. Okay. 0 over 100 because since its establishment, we've not seen anyone being arrested. Or not say arrested. We've not seen anyone being jailed for a crime he or she has been accused with. All we are seeing is, and nipa we are you say, and this person has done this. I'm giving you an ultimatum. Meet me in my office by the 2nd of June. If you don't meet me, I'll declare a wanted person again. This person has done this. This person has been arrested for corruption-related activities. That's all. Since its establishment, so no one.
You think he's not doing the do?
It is his job. I don't know what his job requires, but all I know is his job requires that he needs to investigate and prosecute.
Office of the special
prosecutor.
Just a special. You can say it's not special.
Office of the prosecutor. Oh yes, because it's very sad.
And I believe that he's not the only one. Since it's office, you can imagine a lot of people are under that administration. The amount of money these people are taking monthly. For how many years now? 8 good solid years. No evidence of your work.
Okay.
So if you are worshiping God like this and no evidence come, you still worship God. No, you stop. But we know
don't give
God.
up. Don't give up.
We shouldn't give up.
We'll come back to the issue of the office of the special prosecutor. But before that, Miss Regina, what do you have for us today?
All right. So today, 1994 in history, peace agreement in northern Ghana. Representatives from rival ethnic groups in the northern region of Ghana signed a government-mediated peace accord, effectively ending the Guinea-Fowl War that had erupted earlier that year. The state of emergency was lifted on August 8, 1994. Sudan, Darfur War Crimes Arrest, that is 2020 in history. Sudanese military leader Ali Kushab was detained and charged with multiple crimes against humanity and war crimes tied to the Darfur conflict. Tanzania opposition leader shot in 2020. Tanzania opposition figure Freeman Mbowe was shot outside his home in Dodoma City amid rising political tensions. Today is observed as National Heroes Day of Uganda. It takes place on June 9th every year to commemorate the brave people who laid down their lives and played a major role in creating a better future for the people of Uganda. Moving to some few did you know? Did you know that the Lake Bosomtwe in Ghana is the only natural lake in the country and was formed by a meteorite impact over 1 million years ago? Impact created a crater that eventually filled with rainwater, forming the lake. The black star on the flag of Ghana symbolizes African freedom and unity, and it is designed to inspire by Marcus Garvey's Black Star Line. The Black Star Line was a shipping company founded by Garvey as part of his Pan-African movement, aiming to empower and unite people of African descent. The black star on the flag is a direct reference to this movement and its message of hope for a brighter future. Did you know that the juice from the Sobolo hibiscus plant not only quenches thirst, but is used as a natural dye and has antihypertensive effects? And lastly, did you know that the precursor fruits, Idan fruit, native to Ghana, is used not only for cooking soups, but also to ward off evil spirits in traditional practices? And that's all for today on Today in History and Did You Know, live on GhanaTalks Breakfast Show.
Thank you so much, Miss Regina Blessed, for that fascinating fact. But why are you smiling though? So the press secretary.
Hey. Sorry.
So the
So
and the
then maybe you're Maria dear.
Hey.
Are you saying prosecute?
I am trying to say prosecute.
I need a morning breakfast, please. English breakfast. No. I don't need gobe this morning.
French fries?
No. No.
Gobe is a real deal.
No. Today gobe is not a real deal. Today I need English breakfast because the rate at which
today.
See, I'm not even saying anything again. So prekese. Let me take my time. So prekese in English is called the what?
Idan fruit.
Idan fruit. Oh yeah, it does. Let me use Idan fruits before.
Adam fruit.
Idan.
Yeah,
and it's especially used for palm nut soup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it has this sweet scent.
It's also used for drinks.
Yeah. But in the
traditional aspect, it's used to ward off evil spirits.
Yeah, it's true.
It's true. It's not a
myth. You
myth.
can actually bath it. No, you add this water. It cleans.
Evil
it dries
spirits.
away. Yeah. Oh, it's true.
It's not a myth.
No.
Oh, it's natural.
It's natural.
So I believe
it's just like this. You know, neem tree.
Yeah.
Neem tree.
Yes.
Yeah, the leaves. You can actually boil it and then you bath. It cleans, it cleans you naturally, and then it also pushes away evil spirits.
You see, all right, this is where we draw the curtains for the first segment of the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show. Right after this, we'll be going for the news, and after the news, we'll be coming your way with the second segment. Please stick and stay with us.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with Ghana Talks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With Ghana Talks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. Ghana Talks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
We bring you local news, business news, international, sports, and entertainment news right here on GTR.
Good morning and welcome to the morning news broadcast live on Ghana Talks Radio. Coming up, National Education Dialogue report handed over to President John Dramani Mahama. Kenya Sea Prison Farm doubles output under Feed Ghana initiative. Municipal Chief Executive of Kwesi Team assures residents of addressing flooding in the area. Kennedy Japan criticizes Baumia over 2 million votes lost in the 2024 elections. These and many more coming up shortly in business, sports, and showbiz. Do stay with us. The National Education Dialogue Committee, chaired by Professor George Odro, has presented a comprehensive report to President John Dramani Mahama, outlining 212 recommendations to improve Ghana's education system. The report covers basic education, senior high schools, technical and vocational training, tertiary education, enhancing quality education, financing strategies for the education sector, strengthening governance and accountability in the education. The committee's report is a result of extensive stakeholder engagement and consultation across the country. Its main purpose is to reflect a collective aspiration of Ghanaians for a transformed education sector. In response, President Mahama assured stakeholders of taking the recommendations seriously to drive meaningful reforms in the education sector.
The 148-page report, which we are submitting to you today, highlights key gaps and opportunities in our education system. It presents a total of 212 recommendations from stakeholders. This is distributed as follows. 1. Basic education, 31 recommendations. SHS, 19 recommendations. TVET, 27 recommendations. Tertiary education, 29 recommendations. Cross-cutting recommendations on quality education, 77. Sustainable financing, 7. Accountability and governance, 13. Research and utilization of data and evidence, 5. And partnership between government and faith-based organizations, 4. It also presents expert opinion of the committee on some of the key stakeholder recommendations. Some key stakeholder recommendations are under basic education, that government should ensure that at the KG and primary school levels, emphasis is placed on foundational learning, language, mathematics, scientific and cultural literacies through play-triggered innovative pedagogies framed within universal design for learning, social emotional learning, and learning teams as approaches.
As part of the Feed Ghana program, the Ghana Prison Service is stepping up efforts to double food production at Kenya's settlement camp prisons. This initiative aims to boost agricultural production and to enhance food security in the country. The camp, constituting over 250 inmates, was established in 1992 to produce food to supplement state feeding through the government of Ghana. The acting Ahafo Regional Officer DDP Thompson spoke to GhanaTalks Radio.
To the sites that the tractors will help us in the plowing, harvesting and all that. This year we intend to double our production, and with the donation of this track, I think we will be able to do that.
To improve food production, Charity Gardiner, the Ahafo Regional Minister, presented items on behalf of the government.
Excellency John Dramani Mahama, through the Minister for Food and Agriculture, Honorable Eriko Poku. So we came here to present it together with my MP and my DC.
Moving on, the Efia Kwesi Minti Municipal Assembly is taking proactive steps to address flooding issues in the municipality. The municipal chief executive Abdul Majid assured residents of his commitment to tackling flooding in the area. Meanwhile, the assembly has begun the silting major storm drains to ensure free flow of water. The assembly also promised to strictly enforce sanitation bylaws to prevent indiscriminate waste dumping into gutters.
Community are broader. At a point, we all have to compromise one way or the other. Every river banks be 70 meters on the banks, normally on can but as a result of in Sunankasa, all this were 1 year any concrete draining humanity for it to call them dimensions anymore. So obviously, about affected big crack, but Nipato dono one boy in a community when you to me that this thing has to be corrected. Okay, the impact will be low this time around. About last year, you appreciate what we are doing here right now. The whole of this place, up to the BIA 10 feet, over almost 200 meters away, flat. Even about a week after rains, still they were in this situation, and you couldn't apply between this side and then this side. Now, this is an them culvert you are. Now, you go to the community. So, if, for example, we have all the homes here in the course of rain or affect one. Now, at the end of the day, it's me about correct effect one home or two. I think as a community, we have to accept it and still look into what we can do to eliminate how no home completely. As it stands right now, we admit that about affect to bigger crowd, but it's a compromise we are all doing to ensure we build a community together. On here, trees no contain. If we are the sandbags in some of the areas to protect the whole system, not flood and noise and uncle to my back. It may be a ECMA under my leadership. You to a flood, you to a municipality, and most of the intervention.
Member of Parliament for Asin Central, Kennedy Ohini Ejapon, has made a scanty remarks about Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. According to him, Bawumia's performance in the 2020 elections, where he was part of the ticket that lost 2 million votes compared to previous elections, should disqualify him from being considered the New Patriotic Party's flag-bearer position in future elections. He highlights potential divisions within the New Patriotic Party regarding Bawumia's suitability to lead the party in future elections.
Na ebinom ka se mame mamo abakosem kakra bi onim obi a odi MPP edi anim abrana Rollins ewo ha obi entimi nkasa eye Professor Dubuahin ono your friend culture of silence ono no otumi breaki that time obi entimi nkasa obi esro Rollins Dubuahin ene nya kukuduro estani up to Rollins till 1992 that the Dubuahin koi ono kura no okokuma ye no okoya ni modern mo answer ni no ya mfuna nkobiem obi a mpeso aka no kura kire wa oduru wa ozio president Kufuor komienu Akufo Addo komiensa Dubuahin wokosai mesramo enne ani biaba ya ni afi mamo ma yentoto ensam a enye no kura egu yafem efe mi kire ma bokosem nientia President Kufuor ya didn't call second term ni say the first time or the only 4 months between 3 to 4 months and what the year campaign now vote to President Kufuor nya within that 4 months no and yes and no e be sa de nako enunti and ya the President Kufuor esa call second term oko wini ye there is a reason 4 months our year campaign the performance enunti me esa de President Kufuor eko ebiem oh ana Akufo Addo comprensa Akufo Addo call first one onya 49.3% when timi an cross 50 nunti ana esa call second round eno so epai e time and decide here Emma Professor Mills enya 23,000 votes Adibaye president into a bia person or cultural say yensa ma asumasin ko biamu a on starting kabakosam amwo bia ntie Akufo Addo esa court 2012 no wo wini and wo mu wi am e court mamuti decision and was aka say odie minim say ma wini but samusi nyam na me respect court no enti yanko ya hwe Akufo Addo performance the first time second time enti ni ade ni call the third time enti so you big performance now to me lose over 2 million na ya sa be ka kira say mo fa ni panenko na mayedi but emre ni du ho no kura de yabaka mo mate no kura no de yabaka mo mate samu power Ghana for say mo de kana Japan ba yabeto amamo mo sa kwakwam fia 9 fia nwotwebiem are you ready for that Mama yentie nia efomfo ka. Mama yentie nia Ghana fo ka.
The Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies has requested a 2-week transition period to implement the energy sector levy due to challenges in meeting the June 9th deadline. The association has been instrumental in shaping policy and operational practices in the downstream petroleum industry. According to them, the energy sector levy poses a significant challenge for oil marketing companies. In addition, Deloitte Associate Director Dennis Brown cautioned the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies to develop robust working capital management structures to ensure transparent financial reporting and to demonstrate access to reliable supply sources to secure financing from banks. In business, the Ghana Revenue Authority has revised the implementation of the controversial energy sector shortfall and debt repayment levy following stiff resistance from oil marketing companies. Originally scheduled to take effect on Monday, June 9th, the new 1 cedi per litre levy faced rejection from the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, who raised concerns over its timing and potential impact on fuel prices and consumer bedding. In an interaction with GhanaTalks Radio, The Ghana Revenue Authority confirmed that after discussions in the spirit of cordiality and partnership, a new implementation date of June 16th has been agreed upon. The association has concerns with the 9 June implementation date. We have discussed with their leadership in the spirit of cordiality and partnership to have agreed a new start date of 16 June. The Ghana Revenue Authority stated the levy is part of government measures to settle mounting debt in the energy sector, but industry players argued that they were not adequately consulted and that the rollout risked further destabilizing the already volatile downstream petroleum market. However, transitional agreements have been put in place. Products lifted by a petroleum product marketing company before June 16th will still be subject to the old levy rate. Any cash and carry transaction for which products are lifted or after June 1st will be subject to the new rate. Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Anthony Kwesi Sapon, signed the directive and urged all port and fuel stations to strictly comply. To sports, Portugal beat neighbour Spain in a penalty shootout to settle a frantic final in Munich and win the second Nations League trophy. Cristiano Ronaldo pulled Portugal level at 2-2 in the 61st minute, but there was nothing else to separate the two sides when the referee signaled the end. When the referee signaled the end of normal time, subbed up before extra time, Portugal captain Ronaldo dropped to the turf and sobbed tears of joy on the sideline after Ruben Neves slaughtered home the winning penalty following Diego Costa's save from Alvaro sport kick. Winners of the 2023 edition, Spain had opened a scoring in the 21st minute when Martin poked home after Portugal failed to clear their lines. Their lead was short-lived as Nuno Mendes slammed a low-angle strike past Simon and into a far corner of the net 5 minutes later. Mikel, who netted a late winner in last summer's European Championship final against England, restored La Roja's advantage before the break. But Ronaldo came to Portugal's rescue as he stretched off mark to reach Mendes deflected across and hook a volley in from close range. Fentiha, Bruno Fernandes and Nunes also calmly fired their penalties home before Morata's weak effort was stopped by Costa, and as Neves converted the final sport kick, Portugal became the first team to win 2 Nations League titles, denying Spain, who were vying for the same honor. And that's how we wrap it for now. on the news in brief on GhanaTalks Radio. Don't forget to log on to all streaming platforms at GhanaTalksRadio.com for more detailed information. Do have a good morning.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with GhanaTalks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With GhanaTalks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. GhanaTalks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. GhanaTalks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal.
Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare.
Regina Bless.
Deborah Adoso.
And I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Hello Ghana, hello worldwide, I'm level band. Now listen, every Tuesday and Friday, beyond the time it's going to carry bro. Our GhanaTalks Radio, 7 p.m. sharp. Now Tuesday, we're gonna talk about our culture, our history. Matuni ding setete abako sem. Now on the Friday, you bars on bars. You better rap, you better say no artists go join me in the studio. We're gonna discuss about music and business. Konya, or you singer, and now you rapper, you think say you get bars. You go fit spit fire now. Listen, make you join me with studios. Our GhanaTalks Radio, and you say then our day. Me say download the GhanaTalks Radio app, no, our Play Store, any App Store. Not tune in, and say this is what you see. Baba live on Facebook, Cointakra, any GhanaTalks Radio page, and so now listen. About your fire, 1 year, Konya, Wading, Jajan.
It's another beautiful morning on your airwaves from Ghana Talks Radio, where we come your way to serve you the finest breakfast in the city. My name is Pakwesi Omare, your regular host for the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. In the studios with me is Mr. Data Dennis, who will be joining for discussions, and along the line, Brahma will also join for discussions. Before we move on, don't forget to join the conversations on all our social media platforms at Ghana Talks Radio, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, and on X. Our WhatsApp line is 0202-544-614. Also on YouTube, you can get us at Ghana Talks Radio on YouTube as well. Dennis. Good morning, Chief.
Good morning, Mr. Mari.
Everything cool?
Everything cool, Mr. Mari.
Oh, we thank God. We thank God. We thank God. Check.
Thank God for another week.
Yeah.
Beautiful morning, man. It's a pleasure being here once again.
Sure. Before we get into the main conversations, I think last week you were here. We spoke about corruptions and issues of corruption, why corruption has become so attractive to people and all. And one of our anti-corrupt institutes in the state is the OSP's office, who has been granted the mandate to fight corruption and corruption-related cases. For quite some time now, we've had this case of Furiata and, his inability to avail himself for questioning regarding his tenure in office as finance minister in the ex-Wal government or administration. And we saw the OSP issue a warrant for his arrest somewhere in, I think, February. And then he came with a plea that he isn't feeling well, so he should be given some time, and he was going to return in May. Which the OSP even said, oh, if you are not feeling well, then let me even give you a grace period. Make it in June. In the first week of June, you just report and make yourself available for questioning, nothing more. Fast forward to June. Mr. Oforiatta refuses to appear, and he gives an excuse that now he has cancer and so he can't make it until he's had his surgery. And then afterwards he recovers. After his recovery, then he will see how best he can schedule himself for appearing before the OSP. He even requested for a virtual meeting and all that, which the OSP couldn't grant him, because he said there is a cautioning statement that you can't give through virtual meetings. You need to give it in person. So all these things comes to bear into play. What do you make of this whole situation? People are beginning to have a diverse conversation. Some are saying that what at all could make this man not be willing to appear for answering some questions, to even clear his own name, if indeed you are innocent. People are also saying that he's just playing some gimmicks, some tactics to evade accountability, probably because he feels he has some skeletons in his closet. Some are saying, oh, the OSP is being inconsiderate. The man says he's sick. Why are you still, chasing him around, issuing red alerts on him, like blah blah? Where do you stand in all these conversations?
Okay, thank you for
Yes,
this
sir.
opportunity, and what I would like to say, first and foremost, is that once you are being handed a position to serve in any public office, you should know that it's not going to be forever, and at a time you render account. So as soon as you are being offered such opportunity, what should come into your mind is, at the end of my tenure, definitely I will render an account.
Okay.
So with this cat and mouse chase between the OSP and Kenuforiata, it is in the right course that he calls him to account for some financial irregularities.
Okay.
Relating to some payments and all of that. It's the right call. The OSP is in the right lane. But the problem I have is, I don't know why he waited for so long, because the crimes he peddled against him was committed not when he exited office, but during his
term in office.
His term in office.
Yeah.
So I don't know why, whilst he was serving, he didn't charge on him to question him on some financial irregularities, but rather wait to he exits. Probably this goes to tell us that he was sabotaged. During the reign of the Etwa administration.
The OSP was sabotaged.
Yes, probably. Everything goes to show that this guy was sabotaged, because it is up until when they exited. That is when he started chasing him about. We all know. Yeah. So it's the right call. It's the right call, and some would even say that the OSP has even been lenient, because considering the damage this man has caused, from the banking sector cleanup, some ridiculous amount thrown into the banking sector cleanup. It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even make sense. Banks that could have been saved, were rendered insolvent. Banks that could have been saved. The job losses. Coupled with huge amount losses. I don't have the figure of it. I would have mentioned. I don't want to be wrong.
Sure.
This man has caused us so much.
One of the issues was the fact that we needed just 9 billion to save the banks. All that they needed was a 9 billion cushioning, and we used 25 or 23 billion to close down the banks. So the 9 billion could have actually been given even to the banks as a loan. And once they work, we keep them in the system. They just pay it off. But he decided to, rather use 20-something billion to shut the banks instead of giving them the 9 billion to sustain them, which, as you mentioned, caused a whole lot of job losses and financial irregularities and all that.
He himself, wherever he is, he knows that he's guilty of whatever he's being accused of.
Are you sure? The courts haven't.
That is why he's globetrotting. How can a cancer patient be loitering all about Europe and the Americas?
Well, probably he's just looking for the right place to seek medication. So.
Oh really? Oh really? You are globetrotting. You are globetrotting, looking for better healthcare services. So why not doing your time in service? Why not elevate the capacity of Kolebu? I mean, to take care of you, take care of you.
Yeah.
I mean, he knows the evil that he has done. It is just some flimsy excuses that he's rendering. I mean, he should, wherever he is.
Yeah.
I mean, the OSP has even been lenient, considering the level of corrupt practices that he engaged in.
He allegedly
engaged in.
Speaking of the fact, and I like the fact that you aligned his work during his tenure, all these things, as at the time it happened. We even saw in 2023 where his own party folks campaigned for his removal, which the president didn't agree to it. He just kept him in office. So most of these things happened during his term, which the OSP was aware of, and we saw him take no action. And people have been saying the previous administration were a bit coupled with some bullying on various crime institutions, anti-crime institutions, that it didn't allow them to, as to say, fight corruption as they were supposed to until they left power, which is why people even believe the oral's mission might not be able to stand if the Chief Justice is kept in office, because they felt she was also another part of the machinery used to fight against the anti-corruption fighters. Do you think this assertion about the previous administration is actually true? Do you believe that they had ways of manipulating various issues? That because we even saw people who were asked to say caught in crimes, and we saw the president come to clear them, which even gave him the name a clearing agent. Do you think that the previous administration weren't that much into fighting or encouraging the fight against corruption, which is why the OSP had to wait until they left power before he could actually take action?
Yeah. During the early period of the Eto administration, I mean, the will was there.
Okay.
The will to fight the corruption was there. I mean, they are setting up of the OSP office was a clear indication that the will was there. But in during their second term in office, I mean, there was trouble. I mean, the will suddenly died. I don't know whether they, I don't know.
What do you think brought about that death in the will? Like, what made them lose that vigor, that charisma?
It starts from the top.
Okay.
And the commentary. The commentary out there is that the president.
Yeah.
I mean, when you are loyal to him, he also tries to pay you back, regardless.
Okay.
Regardless. So the president in his bid to reward loyalty to him shielded so many corrupt practices.
Wow.
Shielded so many corrupt practices, and it is. You made an assertion that it is out there that the court is packed deliberately to frustrate and delay
judgment or prosecution. Oh, sorry.
And delay prosecutions.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
It's true. I mean, in our fourth republic dispensation, there hasn't been such number of judges appointed by head of state. And Akufo-Addo did that. I mean, you don't need a soothsayer to tell you that this man is doing that deliberately to thwart the process of holding his own people into account.
Okay.
So it's you don't need a soothsayer to tell that. It was deliberate. Back the courts, and throughout the process. I mean, to shield corrupt practices. I mean, that didn't go well with a lot of us. I mean, and it's reflected. In the elections.
So, and if we're complementing what you said, we even saw the former OSP, the person of Mr. Martin Amidu, resign, calling the president the mother serpent of corruption. So, I don't know. Probably all these things makes accounts for people believing that the previous government was not really in encouragement of fighting against corruption, probably because they themselves might have been involved in some corrupt cases, which after the Athena we've seen most of it come out. This person involved in the shady deal, this person, this and that, and onto the mighty Ken Ofori-Atta, who people even believed he was more powerful than the president during their era.
But let me chip in one thing. I mean the president. He rewards loyalty.
Okay.
But in servitude, especially in public offices, I mean your loyalty should be to the state. And not individual.
Okay.
Understand?
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, I mean it is your legacy that matters.
Okay.
We understand that you had people serve you when you wanted power, but that doesn't mean your interest should override that of the public.
Okay.
Understand? I mean, regardless, Ghana comes first.
Sure.
So that is a little thing I wanted to chip in.
You wanted to chip in. Okay, that's fair.
And I hope we hope and pray that the second coming of JM, we hope and pray that Your Excellency, we hope and pray that your loyalty should be to the state, not your appointees.
Okay.
So that you can punish corrupt practices and not reward corrupt practices.
Okay, that's great. And in regards to that, I mean, 6 months in office, we would say yes, it's too early. Yes, we would say it's too early. But looking at the signs, looking at some of the measures put in place by the president now, looking at some stringent actions taken by some state institutions like Yoko, like the Attorney General's office and all, do you think there could be room under this current administration for any corrupt deeds to flourish?
See, one thing I want to say is that the ordinary Ghanaian knows how to go about its ways. What I mean by that is the Ghanaian. The Ghanaian is very, very competent.
Okay.
When giving free hands to operate.
Oh wow.
So I believe strongly that should His Excellency, and we've seen signs, continue giving the state agencies, including those with prosecutorial powers and those anti-corruption agencies, should he give them free hands to operate, they would execute their mandate to the latter.
Wow.
I believe in the ordinary Ghanaian because you know what I do. You know that I engage with foreign nationals, and I've engaged with Ghanaians
too.
And we are on the same level. We are on the same level. So I believe when they are given the free will to work, they will work and work good.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
Wow.
I know, and I believe strongly in my heart, and I know I'm not going to be disappointed that this aura, the Operation Recover Olu, at least it will work.
It will work.
I believe even if we are not even to secure prosecutions.
Yeah.
I mean, we can recover some process.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, you know our court system.
Yeah.
It will take time.
Yeah.
But I know for sure. I mean, on the foot that they've started, I believe we can recover some loot.
Okay.
And throw it in the coffers of the state. So
sure.
We hope so.
I
believe in the competence of the Ghanaian. I really do.
Okay.
So just give them the free will, give them the free hands, and they will operate.
Okay.
And do it better.
Okay. Moving on.
Yeah.
Last week, we saw or we learned of an introduction of a levy on fuel, and this fuel levy comes on the back of the debt incurred by our energy sector, which is ECG. They owe so much that now the state needs to come together, as stated by the finance minister, to contribute to salvaging our energy sector, else it might go down the drain. We see where this debt incurrence began under the Eswa administration and where we are now, which has brought us to some power challenges in some parts of the country. So the administration believes that, okay, let's just put a levy on our fuel, allocate it to paying off these energy debts. And, you know, most Ghanaians, interestingly, don't have a problem with it. I don't know if it is because the levy is being subjected to a particular purpose, which is why, you know, they are like, okay, this is for a purpose and it's for a good cause, so let's all support it. I'm shocked because we know Ghanaians, how we normally cry against levies and taxes and all, but this one is, in a way, per the survey we've had with the media platforms we've had, we see that people are actually not so bothered about this levy. But then it comes across to say, as a party who campaigned against taxes and all that, levies here and there, comes to power, takes some taxes off, and then reintroduces another one under their own belt. What does it speak of them? What does this whole thing bring us back to as a country?
Okay. Thank you for this question.
Yeah.
I mean, the energy sector is I don't know whether to describe it a crime scene. I don't know, because our energy sector has accrued losses in excess of 3 billion USD.
Yeah.
And you are aware of that.
Yeah.
And you know currently that Ghana, I mean, we are in a deep hole. You know, President Mahama, when he President candidate Mahama then promised us that when he comes to office, he would open the books for us all to see the damage the Etwa administration caused. I don't know why he hasn't done that, for us to appreciate the problems more, because some of us, we have the luxury of reading and getting some documents to appreciate the problem at hand, but others don't.
Okay.
So you just open the books.
Okay.
Open the books.
And pay your privilege to have access to some of these readings and informations. Would you see that the 1 cedi levy is justifiable, knowing the rot and canker which has happened in the energy sector?
It's justifiable because we are in serious debt. I mean, 3 billion debt in the energy sector.
It's no joke.
It's no joke.
Yeah,
and
no joke.
You know our energy sector.
Yeah.
When you speak of the energy sector, commonly, I mean,
we're talking about the lights.
Light. We need to keep the light on.
Yeah.
I mean,
almost everything that we do.
It is a necessity.
Yeah.
So we need to keep the light on. and this sector that helps us to keep the lights on. It's bedridden with debt. And where are we going to get the money from? We are under an IMF programs. Our hands are tied. Where else are we going to get the money from? We have to look within. We can't be borrowing. No, we have to look within. And the best way to look within is from our petroleum products. I mean, a city. I mean, it's meager. It's meager. I mean, if people were even advocating, people who know, who are aware, who are aware of the problems in the energy sector, were even advocating for 2 cities.
Wow.
Yes, 2 cities. I mean, a city on petroleum products. I mean, yes, it's tough, but at least we should bear. Okay. We should bear. I mean, looking at what the money would be used for. I mean, we should bear with the government. Understand? Because I mean, previously we've had levies where we didn't know what the money specifically was going to be used for, but it was pushed down our throats, and we were paid. We were paid for it, but this we exactly know that
what is going to be used for. Okay, and that makes it at least comfortable to. Okay.
You understand? So we should this time around we should bear with the government and understand that this directly goes into our energy sector to keep the light on.
Okay. And with our energy sector as a whole, I think we will find time to actually talk about it as a subject.
Yeah, very, very important.
Because, like, over the past decade and some added years, we've had it's over 2 decades. Because I remember, and I mean, yes, at that time I was very I was knowledgeable to social issues. So I remember even in 2004, President Kufuor, he was like, let's get some pastors, go to the Makosomo Dam to pray, because the power crisis then was so bad. It was so bad, and I thought by then, from now till now, at least we could have been able to take some measures to curb this menace. It had to take
our problems, or our issues as a nation, with regards to the energy sector is two.
Okay.
Mismanagement and financial.
Okay.
You understand? And the mismanagement, it is out of that we have the financial issues.
You
understand? So at least, I mean, just deal with the management and mismanagement issue, and we are done. I mean, look at ECG. How can ECG
it doesn't really make any sense, because the lights you are selling to us,
it's purely mismanagement. It's purely mismanaged, and I don't know. We need to look at, like you said, we need to really look at our energy sector.
Let's see.
We need to really look at
next week. We are going to look at that as an entire subject of discussion.
We should do that.
Should do that. Because it's one of the most important sectors in the country. We can't do anything without lights. So we really need to keep a critical attention to it, and fortunately for us, we have Brahma join us in the studios for discussion this morning. Brahma, you are tired. Your party is tiring people too, making them pay levies and all. So if you are tired for just some few minutes, it's fine. But then you are welcome.
Thank you.
Your people have introduced what do we call it? A 1 CD levy.
Yes.
After calling other people's levies and taxes nuisance.
Oh no, I'd like to say good morning to you and our listeners and viewers everywhere. Thank you very much for giving the opportunity. Sure. And I would like to apologize for coming late as well.
Yeah, for that I will find you. Next time, wake up at 5.
Well noted. So, I mean, facts are certain things that you can't change. And the fact remains that there has not been any introduction of any new levy. This is just an adjustment, an amendment to the energy sector recovery levy, which was established in 2015. So the facts must be established that there hasn't been introduction of any levy, and that this new adjustment is just an upward adjustment of what has already existed. It's just a 1 Ghana cedis adjustment. But let us be clear that when the government took over, we had the fuel prices hovering around 16 to 17 Ghana cedis per liter. And today, when it started coming down to I think 14, 15 thereabout, the drivers themselves, when people were calling them for them to reduce transport fares, some of them were of the view that it must come to 12 Ghana cedis before they can reduce it. And God being so good, some, when you pass by the fuel station, some of them are selling it at 12 Ghana cedis per liter, some of them just 11 Ghana cedis per liter. And what the government sought to do is that we are just adding 1 Ghana cedis. So take it that the fuel price today, if you go to a pump and it is 12 cedis, there's just an additional 1 Ghana cedis today, making 13 cedis.
Okay.
As against where we were having the liter of fuel being around 16 to 17 Ghana cedis.
Okay.
So we appreciate the fact that this was so sudden, unexpected, but we had to deal with it.
Okay.
I just came here to meet you and the analyst talking about mismanagement, and it's very, very important that as we are looking at make sure that we bring levy to solve these issues, we need to tackle the mismanagement aspects. We need to also tackle the aspect of the corruption that goes on in our state institutions.
Okay.
We also need to tackle accountability, very, very important. Because in all of these things, our state institutions continue to say they are incurring losses, and we don't understand how every day there's always debt. But also when you look at the debt of the ECG, over 60 million Ghana cedis. Yes, over 60 million Ghana cedis. What at all were they doing that you sit down? That's why some of us believe that oral must work.
Okay.
The Operation Recover All Loot. That whosoever that was involved in this kind of mismanagement for the past 8 years must be held accountable.
Okay.
Now, what makes this levy very, special in this case is that the government is looking at by early 2026, we should be able to, gather some money to be able to at least, if not eradicate all or pay all the debts or settle them. At least we'll have a substantial way of dealing with them. We can do away with the levy.
Okay.
But we need to appreciate that the government came to meet the fuel liter at a certain level, at a higher rate.
Okay.
Had it been that they had come to meet it at 17 Ghana cedis or 16 Ghana cedis per liter, and had added this levy, they would have said that, the government is insensitive.
Okay.
But you see, that's why I say that governance is continuity. We've come to meet certain debts.
Okay.
We cannot just do away with it like that. And we've also come to meet a situation where we find ourselves where there are debts in every sector. Even I think His Excellency the President made mockery of even GhanaTalks, an alcohol a company, even making losses. That shows how incompetent the previous government was, and that shows how this the previous NPP government mismanaged every sector of the economy. So Ghanaians should appreciate that when we came, it's not as if we sat down hands folded. Government made sure that the fuel at least came down. Prices have reduced a bit. Beverages have also decided to reduce their prices. So at least we are no longer buying some items at a higher rate.
Okay.
So when I hear people talk about this will increase transport fares, how will it increase transport fares if you have all agreed that the 12 Ghana cedis per liter was what you rich to be able to, reduce transport fares. And you have done so. And the government, I'm just adding one Ghana cedis to it to tackle this sector. What we must be calling for as Ghanaians, law for country, including the drivers, is that accountability.
Okay.
Because here lies the case. We had a situation where people came to, impose a certain e-levy on us, fought our parliamentarians in parliament to implement it. That one was even a 1%, and even gradually, the 1% was like it was working on all other transactions, no matter the quantity or amount you were even sending.
Okay.
What did they do with that levy?
Okay.
That is what we should be questioning ourselves.
All right.
And that is what we have to look at in the way of seeking for accountability. That at the end of the day, would the government be able to account to us what they are using the new adjustment or the amendment, the one Ghana cedi that has been added?
Sure.
That's what we need to seek for. And we need to also call for the previous government, previous administration, for them to be able to come forth when they are being called by investigative bodies to give answers as to what they have done with these levies, levies that they impose, including the e-levy. So let us get it right. Ghanaians should not mistake it to be any a levy that is going to impose much hardship. We came to meet hardship. Government is working. Today we had a certain e-levy is gone. We had a betting tax is gone. We have a COVID-19 tax that is even still with us because of a certain poor IMF deal negotiation. So these are the things that we need to look at and appreciate the fact that the government came in, has removed some of the taxes and putting in these ones to resolve challenges that we have come to face. When we set up the energy sector recovery levy in 2015, these same people, NP people, fought against the implementation. But when they came, they left it and even increased. And the important thing is the mismanagement of it. Because had they used the ESLA for what was needed, they went to mortgage it, and in such a way that they mortgage it to 2035 for us to be able to pay our debt. So when they do that, it's difficult for you to, the purpose for which it was set up is lost. And so when we have come to meet these challenges, the IPPs, those who are supplying us with the powers, those who our international producers and all that, they need to be paid. They cannot provide their services without being paid. And we are just urging Ghanaians that this is the way forward. Difficult, like the president said. He said it is difficult, but it is a necessary amendment that we needed to do. And we'll go forward going forward. I'm sure that the government would work prudently for the this government, the confidence that Ghanaians have imposed in us. I'm sure that we are not going to disappoint them, and they know very well that Ghana will work again. Okay,
Ghana will work again. That is coming from Brahma. Now, Brahma, since we are still on the topic of this one cedi levy amendment, as you mentioned, right? In our topics, one of the main discussions is related to the people who are, let's say, directly affected by this, quote unquote, affected by this levy, the drivers. And they've come out, the drivers union has come out to threaten a strike if government doesn't revise its decision and take this levy off. What do you make of this strike? Do you think it's as valid?
When I saw the notice by them, I asked myself that, where is love for country? Where is the love for our country?
But they could also ask same.
There are sacrifices that this government has made, unprecedented, 56 ministers. We promised 60 ministers. We gave you 56 ministers. Do you know how that comes with a lot of commitment that you must do as a government? We had a certain administration that had 120 ministers and more, 1,000 presidential staffers. All of these people were taking money from the government coffers. We had a government today, independence celebration was not celebrated as it was, that gargantuan nature of celebrating it. It saved us a lot of money. This government has launched a code of conduct for its government appointees, how they should go about their conduct. All these are guidelines, all these are strengthening measures that are being put out, such that the government itself is cutting its coat according to its cloth, cutting our size according to our cloth, making sure that we live by our means. You understand? So if government is making these commitments, it shows that each and every one of us have to make these commitments. the hypocrisy in all of these situations is that they are united when it comes to increments, but they are never united when it comes to reduction. They fought passengers, your own brothers, our own people. Because it's not fair that they have reduced, one of the components with which we used to work is your fuel. It has been reduced drastically. Drastically in less than 6 months.
And it's even going to reduce again the next window.
Exactly. In less than 6 months, and you didn't see the need to reduce, and you were fighting passengers here and there. Just a 1 Ghana cedi levy, which is not, if it had been that the 1 Ghana cedi levy would have added to, let's say, to reach the 16 Ghana cedis per liter that we used to have, they would have had concerns. This is just a 1 Ghana cedi, and right now we are not even expecting an increase in fuel price. So what kind of, strike are you going to embark on? They are going to hurt ourselves. Where is the love for your country? What's your contribution, your quota? Yes, you do pay these kind of taxes and wherever you are loading and whatnot. But where is the patriotism? That today, the government of the day is doing something. All of us have seen how they are measured in their expenditure. All of us have seen how they are making sure that government, we are able to run this country to where we all want. People are happy. The cedi to dollar ratio is coming down. So all of these things should guide all of us that in building the nation together, we all have a part to play. This increment of fuel price is not going to affect that much. So why should we even reduce these prices? Why should we even go on strike? So what we would like to plead with the drivers is that they should look at the sense of patriotism. They should look at the love for country. They should look at also contributing their quota to the nation, and also look at the fact that all of these reduction will come to our greater good. What is the use of you getting all the money and getting home and you don't have electricity to sleep in? What is the use of getting all this money and you get home and you don't have proper electricity that will be able to power your systems and make sure that your home is running comfortably, your businesses are running? Because some of them, I'm sure, as even they have other businesses that need power, that need energy. So at the end of the day, let's look at how this government is making sure we are implementing these things for the benefit of all of us. So we are pleading on them. For me, I see it to be it's a hypocrite move. It's a way of going to just sabotage the government other than looking at the real issues. Because if they understood, that's what we need to emphasize on education, that they get to understand that the mess we have come to meet is that huge, that we need to implement some of these things to make sure that we get out of the way. What they should be, I am calling for once again, is about accountability. That yes, you have increased it, you have adjusted and made an amendment to the energy sector levy. We agree, we will take it in good faith, because what you came to meet, you have been able to reduce it. By whatever magic, do they even know? Some of them are even, let's say, they are even oblivious of how some of these things work. Yet, this government has been able to make sure that these things have been reduced drastically for the benefit of all every Ghanaian. So please, we are pleading on the drivers that they should look at the love for country. They should look at the fact that we are building the nation where we have come to meet so many things that were not in good shape, that were not in proper shape, and we are doing our best. Because going on sit-down strike over just a 1 Ghana cedis, when we had e-levy 1% imposition, when the NDC parliamentarians fought the MP people in parliament, they never, made mention of, because all of these things, definitely, they would have also been sending money to people. They never, so when there's time, that calls for patriotism, that calls for unity as a country, this is the time that they also contribute their quota. They also look at how the mess we have come to meet and help us as a government, and we help each other to develop this nation. So I think, that move should be called up. Their leaders should let them understand. The GPRC should come in and let them know that what they are doing is not going to help us. They are going to hurt our own people, and that the reduction that they have done, government duly appreciates it. Our president has stated emphatically that we need to make sure that this country runs very well, and some of these things include imposition of this levy. And imposing this levy is not as if we are going to use it to spend. Look at, you see, one thing I admire about the current finance minister is the smartness with which he runs his things. When you look at when he was cancelling the e-levy, we had the likes of the minority. You will see you are cancelling taxes. We will see how you are going to. Meanwhile, he had a clear money today. We've been able to, use, the tax refund policy, where the finance minister decided to use, part of it to be able to make sure that these, taxes that we have removed, be able to use it to replace it. So they should be rest assured that we have a working finance minister, that we have a working government that is ready to take our needs, very seriously. So the drivers, the GPRT should, sit down, go and think about it, and think about the love for country that this increment. Already, you didn't even have a 13 Ghana cedis per liter. You didn't have it. Someone has come to give it to you at 12 Ghana cedis or 11 Ghana cedis.
I don't think putting them in that corner is even going to help. It might rather escalate their source of grievances. We can just
no. But let's face the truth. We need You see, when some people, if they had even given notice, maybe we want to meet government and understand the real issues. Perhaps their leaders will sit down to me. But out of the bloom, you have sat on your own with no negotiation with government, with no consultation. Because wouldn't it hurt the NDC government more if they impose the levy or this amendment we have done? If they do it in such a way that they know that it will make them unpopular. But here's the case: they are here to work. And when you look at the difference in the style of governance, you see the difference between MPP and NDC, who is seen to work. Because we know how bad this can hit. We know how they are trumpeting this thing in the various marketplaces, telling people that, it's one Ghana cedis levy intro. All of this, but government is standing on its toes that, yes, it is a necessity. Because if you don't do some of these drastic measures and put them in place, you will not be able to achieve what you want as a country. It's a bitter pill that we need to swallow. But at the end of the day, it is for the good of all of us. You see, one thing that we have to appreciate is that governments don't take delight in placing taxes. But what we look at is the kind of government that is imposing the tax in the first place. Their history of expenditure. We are looking at how they have been able to make sure that they use these taxes to the benefit of Ghanaians. We've had past levies before, and we understand that people are having doubts as a result of some of these imposition of levies and tax and amendments of taxes, because they know how previous government has misused it. But they should be rest assured that this government is coming in to use this levy for the proper good of everyone. They should see. We are making sure that things go on very well with the establishment of many policies in place. Everything will go on well. They should just go and rethink about it. Love for country, their contribution to the country. That let's allow the government to work. This imposition, at least we didn't come to meet it this way. This way I've been able to brought it this way, and they are just adding one Ghana cedis to it. It's not much, in my view. As you can still save as much. You can still save, because when you look at it, if you were buying at 16 or 17 Ghana cedis per liter, today you are buying at 13 Ghana cedis. You are still saving money. There's no loss. So where is the hullabaloo in all of these? There's no loss. You've still been able to save as much as you want as a driver, as a transport operator, and what. So they should really look at it and know that even with the imposition, there is still savings that has been done. We've saved them money, and they can still go about with their normal duty without cause for alarm. This sit-down strike will not help us as a country.
Thank you there, Brahma. Dennis. Yes, sir. One Ghana city levy, and the drivers are saying no. It's outrageous. So they are threatening a strike.
Ghana as a country. In our struggle towards independence. Our labor unions were key in the struggle towards our independence. So speaking on issues relating to our labor unions, we should be careful of some words we use. But when it comes to GPRT, I wouldn't be careful, and I wouldn't choose my words right.
Why?
They are nation wreckers. They are. I'm telling you, they are nation wreckers. I mean, there's absolutely no sense in their demands. No sense at all. It's like they set up solely for profit.
Okay.
Nothing. No sense of nationalism. Nothing. It is, and I don't blame them. I blame our successive governments. If not for mismanagement, where would GPRT be in our transport sector? If STC was working,
the metro masses,
we have
our railways,
our transport system, our public transport system were working efficiently. We would even have better services for less, more than what they are providing for us.
What they are providing, sure.
No corporate social responsibility, nothing. Absolutely nothing. They don't. They just exist to rip off the Ghanaians. You know, whenever they call for increments in transport fares, they do so aggressively. But when there is reduction, the citizens would have to cry, do whatever. They don't even care until maybe the government intervenes that, oh, you guys should. I mean, those guys, I don't know. And it runs through not only this government, successive government. That's how they've been. I don't know. With all the labor unions, I think it's GPRT is a nuisance. It's a nuisance. How unpatriotic can you be? How unpatriotic can you be?
Okay.
I mean, this we shouldn't even discuss. I mean, you see, usually when they scream, Ghanaians always they get the backing of the populace. But with this, nobody is giving attention to them.
So you think their demands are not,
regardless of our affiliations politically, we need to, when there's a good cause, we need to rally around it as good citizens.
Okay. And the one city levy, you think is a good cause that we all need to rally
it's a good cause, and I was even thinking that one city
is not enough.
It's not enough. At least 2 cities.
Dennis, you are international. You are internationally employed, so I know this. But to us who are, we don't have that much.
Let me tell at the energy, looking at the mess the actual administration has caused in the energy sector. I mean, we need to try. Energy sector is not a joke. We need to keep the light on, my brother. We need to keep the light on. We need to keep the fuel coming. The country must work.
But let me ask this
must
question.
work, and we are bedridden with debts, and we need to look for solution within. We need to look, and the solution within is the imposition of a cedi on petroleum products.
Let me ask this question, Dennis, and this goes for both of us. Did government consult these people before taking this action, or do you think it needed no consultation with them? Because let's be frank, they are the people directly, taxed with this levy. So at least some sort of consultation should have gone on. Did we hear of any consultation with them? Did they agree? Did they not agree? That government moved on to still implement it, which is why they are actually calling for.
Okay, no problem. Provided that the government didn't go into any consultation with them. I mean, is that how to act?
Right.
You understand? You call on the government that, please, you call on the finance minister, and the finance minister so far has proven that he's a listening minister. So you call on him that, finance minister, I mean, this levy, we have issues with it. Can we sit and talk about it? I mean, you just don't go say, we would strike, we would do this. Who cares? You understand? We want this country to work, and whoever would sit in his or her comfort zone and try to sabotage, I mean, we wouldn't agree. You understand? So I do not support them with this. Sorry, they should come back.
They should come back.
I think the government case, I don't know, the we are looking at the well-being of all Ghanaians. That's why I was saying that emphatically that the government of the day is a listening government. And that, yes, we can give the benefit of doubt that, yes, we might not, if there hadn't been any consultation, when the prices of the fuel price was going down, we didn't see a GPRT say, "Oh, thank you, government." Show of
was it necessary?
Show of gratitude, very, very necessary. Show of gratitude. No, you see, it is public service that the politicians are doing. Though we decide to give them stipends and monthly salary and whatnot, we also owe it a responsibility as citizens to play our parts to make sure that this country moves forward. You don't sit down aloof. Someone does the work. You are benefiting from it. Yet you don't want to contribute your quota to the development of the country. Granted, maybe they should have consulted you. They didn't. But is that the approach, like my brother said? Is that the approach in making sure that, because that's what I'm saying, that if they sit down to reflect and look at the energy sector debt, you see, John Jinapo, the energy minister, was making remarks. He mentioned the debt in the energy sector. He was like, the energy sector's debt stands approximately $3 billion, equivalent to 45 billion Ghana cedis. Now, the energy sector debt is 80 billion Ghana cedis, approximately that's $5.7 billion, using an exchange range of 14 Ghana cedis to a dollar. Today, by God's grace, the dollar has come down, meaning that, you see, when you sit down to look at all these things, it tells you a sense of direction, good purpose. In the sense, even today, if you are going to pay our debt as a nation, it will be lesser because the cedi to dollar ratio has also come down. So it helps the government to improve. So at the end of the day, when government is making efforts, and I kept telling you that government is also doing its part by reducing expenditure. Today, the number of people who are ministers and all that, they're not also draining the public purse like we used to. So what is the sense of patriotism that even if government doesn't even consult you, this pricing or this one Ghana cedis has not come to reach the level where it was
before.
So what is my show of gratitude? It's like, oh, you going home. I mean, sorry, no, with the Gary. Today you've been given rice jollof with chicken. Oh, we are just taking away we are just cutting part of the jollof, and you still be satisfied. Yeah, okay. Then you come and you're giving us excuses. You see, when they started calling for this reduction, they started speaking about, oh, spare parts deals, they still have stock and all that. And the hypocrisy of it is when there's an increase in just one cedis in the liter, and they no longer speak about their spare parts issues again. So that's the unfortunate thing. So we have to tell them that into their face that they should show patriotism. The government cares about them. Government is working assiduously to make sure that it meets the demands of everyone. We all agree that government cannot do it all. But the few that we have done, let us feel the impact as Ghanaians. This reduction, when you look at it, me nowadays, I don't even do calculation when I sit in trouble, because when people, even Ghanaians, many people, when they are doing their budget, they will do and add one Ghana in case people don't want issues with anyone. I'm going my place. I want to have my peace of mind. What is their contribution? So if they want consultation, if they want to sit down with the government or the minister to understand the real issues on ground and reverse their decision, they should rather be looking at how to reverse their decision. Because if the government reverses its decision, they should be able to provide us the alternative way where the government can get. I agree. Some people speak about taxes. I mean, governments always rush to go and look at imposing tax on citizens when they want to get their way out of. But right now, if we are looking at the debts that have been accumulated, how do we clear the debts whilst going after those who have mismanaged the institutions? Because right now, if we are looking at Aura is not going to take place just within one day. For us to even recover and say, oh, we are taking these monies to go to pay our debts. What time will we do that? And when I did my research, I realized that the government is looking at least early 2026. From now to early 2026. They are hopeful that by then we will to garner some amount of money, though it's not eradicate or completely, but at least able to reach a substantial amount of the debt. And this also goes our state institutions, government workers and all that you should be careful about how you manage our economy, how you manage our state institutions. If you're at ECG, if you're at the energy ministry or whatever you are doing, be measured, because at the end of the day, these are the things that will come and hit us back. Wouldn't it have been happy or be a happier situation where this reduction of fuel was there? There's no adjustment of any levy or whatnot, and we'll all be enjoying it as a country. But today, as a result of our own people, citizens who have been employed to work, you mismanage the sector. People have come to Hanover. Everywhere there's debts. How do we clear these debts? Yes, the previous government may claim they also inherited debt. Yes, you inherited debt, but to what extent? We left a debt to GDP ratio of 120 billion Ghana cedis. Today is over 600 billion Ghana cedis. What impact has they been able to make such a way that today we are looking at facing imminent power crisis, for which reason this government wants to adjust us and brought this new levy. You understand the point I make? So if things were going on well as they claim for the 8 good years, we wouldn't be here. So at least when they are making their criticisms or speaking about impositions, you look at where we came from, which people were handling our governance system and our affairs, that today we have to go back to this system. Wouldn't it have been nice that, this government had no reason, they had no reason to impose a levy or to bring a new one Ghana cedi? Then we'll have a conversation that yes, this government is being insensitive. But they came, they met something, they've reduced it and said, let's just add 1 cedis to help all of us. So at least drivers should sit down and think about it. And I like the fact that my brother brought a very, very important point that every one of us have to draw our attention to,
which is
corporate social responsibility by the GPRT themselves. It's very true, because I have said and I've thought about it that we are yet to see such a body. Like you even see like MTN going to do MTN Foundation doing this. We are yet to see GPRT as a body building schools, building boreholes for communities, also contributing their quota to the nation.
These are the people always crying about their poor, and
because they are honestly, they are the ones draining our country and draining the market women, also imposing such food items to that extent. Because imagine from the farm produce, yes, from exactly from their farm produce to their marketplaces, from back to house is all transportation. That's why they add to some of these foodstuffs. And you remember the former minister had to go and do his own market at the ministries. The former minister of Agric, Dr. Afri Akoto, he set up his own market because of the high in food prices, and all that was due to these kind of transport fares increments, due to at that time where the fuel prices were going high. So as a result, we understand, we appreciate the role they play significantly, and especially when you look at the oil sector, the fuel sector. It's a sector that is doing well. For which reason, when you tax it, you're able to get a substantial amount of money. But at the end of the day, what we should be calling for, like I said, is accountability. That the government uses the levy for its right purposes. We'll be here today. Some of us are not, just followers. I don't know if the government doesn't do well, we'll speak out. So let's be, citizens and participate. They should sit down and reflect what is their contribution to the country.
Thank you very much, Brahma. In the year 2022, in the latter days of 2022, the NPP government, who was in power then, came up with a brilliant idea, which even afterwards we came to realize through their 2024 election campaign, that their flag bearer then was the brains behind that policy. And I'm talking about the policy of the gold for oil policy. According to the NPP then, fuel prices internationally was too high for us to cope with, and so they came up with an idea. Let's just procure fuel with our gold. So we use gold to purchase our fuel. In 2023, this idea came into implementation, where we began to purchase fuel with gold. Today, whenever the NDC speaks of how good they've managed the economy so far under the administration. What the NPP counters it with is the fact that the gold for oil policy is what is keeping the economy running smoothly, and not any special administrative measures by the NDC.
Really?
And just some few hours ago, we came to bear with the knowledge that the gold for oil policy has been scrapped by the NDC. They don't think it is any good policy to continue, so yes, they scrapped it off. What do we make of this? A policy that, according to the NPP, is keeping your administration running. You are scrapping it off. How are you then going to run the economy effectively? Is this a good step by the NDC to scrap off the gold for oil policy? Dennis, I'll take you first.
Okay. So, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Once again. The gold for oil policy. You know that we all know that in the latter part of 2022.
Yeah.
I mean, our economy was in distress. You understand, and the inflation was skyrocketing.
Sure.
And the CD to dollar, I mean, it was terrible.
Yeah.
So we needed to put in a measure to salvage the economy. And in purchasing petroleum product, we used our we purchased it in USD, and it is the Bank of Ghana, which provides that support in excess of 400 million.
Okay.
And so the Eto administration thought it wise that so to put a stop to the strain on our reserve, on our domestic reserve, on our, which means our dollar.
Yeah.
So to stop the depreciation, at least to catch up.
Yeah.
They said, okay, let's barter with gold. Let's barter with gold. I mean, until this administration came, we didn't know that it was sham. I don't know whether to call it a sham or it was not properly managed. I don't know.
Oh, how is that a sham?
Because
a policy
listen,
that has kept this administration running.
Listen.
Yes,
It's on record and it's a public record.
Okay.
From you, when you ask for the literature, you get it.
Yeah.
That the government of Bank of Ghana invested 4.9 billion.
Yeah.
4.9 billion.
Yeah.
And they made a loss of 2.1. I mean, total sham.
Well, they will say it was early days, so you know.
No, they were. That is what they were saying until I mean, they were covering up things. I don't know whether to call it. I don't know whether to say it was set up to steal. I don't know, or I don't know whether it was not properly thought through, or it was set up just to steal. I don't know because it's. I mean, the idea behind it was good.
Okay.
Was good because I mean, during 2022, the economy was in trouble.
Yeah.
So you needed to salvage it, and our reserve. I mean, you can't be throwing off your reserve. You need to balance it. And so I don't know. But the gold for oil policy. I mean, it is good that Dr. Isiama, the current BOG governor, had thrown it off because we were making losses, and that gold for oil policy, it was stretching the BOG. Because I mean, the BOG is it's not a mandate of BOG to do that.
Okay.
It was not. I think it was not properly thought through.
Okay.
It was not properly thought through.
Okay.
The BOG shouldn't have come in. I mean, they should have set up a body, or maybe they should have dealt with only PMMC alone on the gold for oil policy. I mean, it was a total sham, and I think our anti-corruption agency should look into it. I mean, some people should be called for questioning.
Okay.
Even if our vice president, who takes so much credit for that total sham, I mean, he should be called because I don't know. I don't know whether to call it that it was set up to steal or it was not properly thought through. I don't know. I don't know. Well, I think since the establishment of BOG, I mean, this is the first of its kind that is engaged in a venture and it's incurred such heavy losses. I mean, so it was not properly thought through. So it's in the right direction for the government to cancel it and to throw it out. Okay. I mean, it was not properly thought through. Yeah.
So it's in a good cause.
It's in a good cause. It's in a good cause. It's in a good cause. And it's deception. And people saying that no, it's all deception. It was total deception.
Okay.
I mean, it was total deception.
All right. Thank you there, Dennis.
You're welcome.
B.
Yeah. So, like my brother said, he is saying it was a sham. I think it's one of the useless policies that we've come across.
Why would you use such a term? Your government.
No.
Your government is actually enjoying the benefits of this policy, and you are calling it
the government will not withdraw from it. The Bank of Ghana will not withdraw from such is useless because when you do an in-depth research about it, you get to know there's no sense in it. With all due respect to our listeners and our viewers, because the oil importers, you see, I get the idea that those who import oil of, fuel products and whatnot, they need dollars more. And so when there's demand for dollars, either the exchange rate, the city depreciates because people are rushing for dollars and to import these fuel products. What I'm not even sure about is whether the Bank of Ghana was even the avenue, because you are more like using our reserve, because I don't know, when they import the oil, is they pay in dollars because the oil sellers, they need their money paid to them in dollars.
Okay.
So if you are paying them in gold, you still need to source them in dollars. You still need to source the importers dollars for them to pay. So I think like there wasn't much to do about it. Say it would have helped the city or the exchange rate. But at the end of the day, the people need their monies in dollars. They don't need the gold. You may find that the gold may be of high value and whatnot. But you see, it exposed the Bank of Ghana to market risk. This is what happens. So it means that there is fluctuations in the city, the gold prices. There's fluctuations in the currency, the exchange rate. So for instance, if you go today, the Bank of Ghana, let's say, they said Bank of Ghana approximately had, let's say if they approximate the gold price 130 million Ghana cedis, then they go at a time where they're going to make payments for the oil importers to give them money so they'll be able to pay their sellers, and they go and the price of the gold changes. It's a problem. That's why they'll make a loss. So for instance, today, at that time, the city to dollar ratio was not at a stable place where you know that today, as I'm going, it is 10 Ghana cedis. So you're able to budget. But if you go today, it is 10 Ghana, tomorrow it is 11 Ghana, tomorrow it's 12 Ghana cedis. So the budget you have made to pay the importers, to give them, let's say, the gold, to give them the gold or the dollars, you are exposing the Bank of Ghana to this risk. So that's how the laws will come, because I don't know, when they go, they need to pay more, because when they go and the city to dollar, let's say they expected a 10 Ghana cedis ratio, then they went and it is 11 Ghana cedis. They have to pay more, which is unexpected. But you see, the rationale of this policy was that it will reduce pressure on the city, where at least the oil importers will be dealing with gold. I don't know, the CD is relaxed. People are not looking for the CD and all that, but we are using our gold. But at the end of the day, you still need to source them. You still need to source the importers dollars to pay their sellers. So there was nothing that was being achieved. The initiative was just there for, you see how they take delight. Go for oil, go for oil. It was just slogan. Because sloganeering, because if you're able to make these losses, had it been that they had won the elections, all God would have known how this thing would have been in the cupboard and someone somewhere is spending or benefiting from it. So this program, when you look at it, there is no benefit in it. when you look at when the city started appreciating, they moved from it is trade war. When that one didn't fire, they moved from government wasn't spending. When it didn't fire, it is our go for oil.
It didn't fire?
It didn't work. It was not system. You see, right now they have forgotten that the kind of politics right now we do, with just a click, people who can research their social media, people are educating people. People have gotten to know that. Because when they were making such claims, it was a trade war issues and whatnot, it should have affected all the currencies globally. But the city, has appreciated by over 16% to the dollar, unprecedented in less than 6 months.
Okay.
That showed that the city, there was something that we were doing critically to make sure that the city appreciated to the dollar, which included the expenditure of the government. Make sure you are cutting down your expenditure. The initiative of the gold board. You see, that's one of us. I said, governance is not rocket science like people make us see. It's very, very simple.
Okay.
Look at the establishment of this gold board. If you want to stabilize your city, when there is more demand for the city, that's how you get an appreciation of it to the dollar. When people want to go for the city more, that's how you get. So if you have gold, now you have people who come to we export gold, who buy our gold. Now this gold board initiative, that's one thing I like about it, is that come and buy our gold in cities.
Okay.
So the international, those who deal in gold internationally and locally, the government says, I'll buy the gold here, locally, in cities.
Okay.
I'll sell it in cities.
Okay.
So those who want to come and buy our gold are buying it. So they are rushing and looking for the city. The city now becomes hot cake.
Okay.
For people to come and to come and look for city, to go to the forest bureau. You want city, you want city, you want cities.
Buy the gold.
To buy the gold.
Okay. Unlike previously where you need to
sell it
dollars.
in dollars. You see, the reason why we even sell it in dollars and get is because of our reserves to back to back our reserves, so that you have more dollars or your foreign currencies to be able to use to set up certain things to make some payments.
Okay.
But anyway, one of your cherished commodities, or let's say human resource, your natural resource is gold, which you can capitalize on.
Okay.
And you see, this gold for oil, one thing that it lacks is that, you see, we have done in such a way that we are over relying on gold to want to make sure we make gains out of it.
Okay.
But we have the agricultural aspect, we have our infrastructure aspect, we have so many things that we export food items in this country. If you're going to make sure that all these payments are made in cities, such that yes, people are coming to buy the items, they buy it because we spend cities here. But if you're coming and giving me dollars and the people are holding the dollars here, it don't lead to our benefit. Because I know when they want to buy things from outside, they are using the same dollars, which is now putting our city at risk.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, these policies didn't help us.
All right.
I'm glad the Bank of Ghana, they've done a report, and that's why we need to call for oral once again.
Okay.
That those who have sat down to look at this mismanagement of our economy, these kind of sloganeering and policies need to be held accountable.
Okay.
They need to vomit those monies. We can't just sit down as a country, then wake up every day, it's lost. No, what kind of country are we running?
Okay.
These kind of things must come to an end, where we know that yes, people are managing state institutions and are being conscious. They have patriotism, a sense of patriotism, a sense of nationalism to the country, that this policy we are implementing. We are even 2023. When you look at the report, it said from 2023, right from its implementation, there were losses. Why couldn't someone say no? This thing we have to stop. Right from his implementation, there were losses.
Okay.
So why people say no?
I don't know what to even
it's not helping us.
I don't know what to even
So
you understand?
Right from the onset, we should have been able to
identify
know the future of this.
You understand? This 1.8 billion, Ghana citizens.
There was no risk assessment, nothing.
Nothing.
They just
implemented. And you see, the oil importers. One thing people, I appreciate the fact that yes. The oil importers are they play a crucial role because of the crude oil that we did and the fuel products that we deal with. It's good, but the support you are giving them it doesn't give us return.
Okay.
Because I don't know, those who supply them with the fuel, they are important. Those who supply them with the fuel still need to be paid in dollars.
Okay.
So what you are doing is there's no usefulness in this.
Okay.
In giving them gold, where I don't know the gold if they go. the gold prices are also fluctuates. It's not stable because it's just like the currency too. So if they go today, if you give me, let's say, if you are giving me 1 ton of gold, which is equal to, let's say, 2 Ghana cedis, but tomorrow I'm going, the 1 ton of gold is 3 Ghana cedis. I have made the loss.
Okay.
You understand? You're paying me in gold, Momo. But I don't know, as I'm going, the market price is not fixed.
Okay.
So if they had been able, you see, one thing the previous government didn't take notice of is that it's expenditure. Even in your country here, if you are using money to go and dig 58 million dollars, a cathedral home, if you are using money to do NAPCO and whatnot, making.
Oh, but NAPCO was.
Oh, please. Today, where are they? We are even owing them. We are still owing them. I think they say 7 months arrears or something like that.
Your party will pay. Your party should pay.
That is not our party. It's the government. It's you and I, our money.
Okay.
It's you and I, our taxes.
Okay.
Let's get it right.
Okay.
That's what we say. You need to vote for people who can manage the economy such that you feel it as a Ghanaian. That's NAPCO implementation or that. To what end? How many of them were able to get employment? They campaigned 2.1 million votes. 2.1 million people have been employed and whatnot. Today, if 2.1 million people have been employed, they would have added to their numbers at the polling station in December 7th to vindicate them. But it clearly showed that people didn't feel the impact.
Okay.
So let us get it right.
Yeah.
MPP should never come close to governance again. They are nation wreckers. People should get it right that they do not have good mind. When they came, just create this thing, create loot and share. One district, one factory, one this, one. All of that sloganeering, sham, and they have brought this country down to its knees.
Do you know one thing about this gold for oil policy that I still don't get? Now, up to now, we don't know how much gold we used to get oil and how much oil we got in return.
And the oil
we don't know the people who were involved in the policy transactions. All these things are so clouded.
The former governor and his people should be held accountable. That's why I'm saying that the raid they performed in his house was not enough. We need to get updates. This government must be serious. Like, we need to get updates on the raid. What did you get?
It's not funny.
Yes.
That's what administration, they really did some
because
evil.
See, when you speak to the experts, beyond the political lens and whatnot, people really feel the impact of today, good governance.
Okay.
Because when they see that the government is running certain things, and that because industry players, transport drivers, those who drive alone, they are able to save money.
It might seem as if His Excellency is performing some magic.
Yes.
No, but it's because we've been under.
We have been under a regime where
I don't know how to describe it.
So it's more like now the normal seems abnormal to us.
Exactly. The normal, because
something that should be normal to us as citizens.
Exactly.
Privileges,
because
we see it to be just a miracle.
Exactly. Because as they've come, when you look at the imposition of this e-levy, when they were talking about, make it make sense where. Already, when you are sending money, there used to be a tax on it. There used to be MTO take his.
When you came in, I was telling him that the average Ghanaian,
you're right,
is a good person,
right?
And when you give him a job, he will deliver.
Yes,
you understand. But I don't know how to describe. I know there are good people in the MPP, but that's why administration, they were terrible. They were very terrible in managing this account. They were very terrible. Do you know? I don't know. You have to maybe start putting on your platform. The then Kande Mahama told us that as soon as he gets power, he would open up the books for us to appreciate
the mess we got
but
ourselves.
So he hasn't done that. So you can throw it in your group.
for now, no, he has done some. I think when we came,
you should dedicate a period.
Yes,
and
do that and let people know what we have come to meet. So I mean, the 4-year mandate is a long ride.
Okay.
Ghanaians should expect that. I mean, it's excellent because when you see a working government, you are able to notice it.
Okay.
Because in all of these conversations, the policies that they have, the previous administration have implemented, we are yet to reap the benefit of any of them. And that's the sad thing about it.
But they said the gold for you is what is making you.
But when they started bragging about the economy, we are 2 weeks of COVID-19 shut down. We told them that you go to IMF, so we will not go to. We are a proud nation. We are this.
Okay.
Not less than few months, they went to IMF, and today we are in IMF program. Yet, you see how the country is being moved in a certain direction.
Okay.
That tells you that if you want to do things well, you will do it well. There are good people, like we say, in the MPP. They are all Ghanaians. Let's all accept. They are we are brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
But when it comes to managing the economy better, when it comes to even our democracy itself, the MPP as a political party has never been that, helpful to us. So, our drivers, our transport operators, we appreciate the work that you do.
Okay.
Many of them, I may even be our party supporters. Maybe so they should understand the real issues on ground, and come on board to support His Excellency and the government of the day.
Okay.
To do the right things. Because if we don't swallow these bitter pills now, tomorrow we'll get up and the same things that have been happening. And you see, there was a time I saw a news item. I was telling one of my friends on campus, an MPP guy, I said, you people are setting trap for us. They know very well that they'll be leaving power. So the independent power produced, the IPPs, they were not paying them. Even came to a point where, was it, when we took over, I think there is one independent power producer, it's a Chinese, Shanghai or something, that was the name. They threatened to shut down.
Yeah.
So some of these intentional, yes, that's it.
Asogli.
Intentional, wicked like mentality. Say you know that you are leaving power, then you intentionally leave debt, and you come and tell us you kept the light on for 7 years. We should be able to keep the lights. We don't run a country like that on debt.
Yeah.
I don't mean it to come to hurt you. You'll not be able to run. You reach a point where you'll be going to IMF all the time, and hippie could set in. We don't want that situation. We believe that we can, develop ourselves here independently. This is where we start from. We every day we shout, Africa must be united. We must be independent. It starts from home. This one Ghana City PO, we need to swallow it and swallow it in good faith, and just call for accountability.
Okay, thank you there, Brahma. The government, and with this, then I'm really interested in it, because when we look at our environmental sanitation, it's not something that we can actually boast of. Plastic here and there, dirt here and it's like the plastic dirt is taking over. When you pick a truck load full of refuse, 90% of it is plastic. We are in a plastic disposition as a country. Like everything we do, we want it. Like you go and buy food, it's in some plastic package. You buy water, plastic package, like everything, and it has really contributed to the dirt and sanitation problems in the country. And yesterday we learned the government is planning to ban styrofoam plastic importations. Now let's take it this way. If government is planning to ban these things, what are the options we have, especially in our packaging? Secondly, let's not forget, this has become another way of, should I say, business to people. So if we are banning it, what is the next way? What is the options we are giving to them to, keep on running their businesses and keep surviving in the business world? Because this is really going to shut down an entire business streamline if it should happen.
Okay, I think we should not be, government is not responsible to be babysitting anybody, and we should be innovative and creative as a nation. We sit down every day when we go on our social media platform, TikTok, we see how countries are very innovative. You see, when people don't research about these things or get to know about how dangerous these things can be, these plastics to even our water. I'm doing marine science, so we focus more on the oceans, and we know the danger these plastics waste have been doing to our water bodies. Even
what are some of the disadvantages of these things?
So when you look at the ocean, and our water bodies, one, even source of food. Because I don't know, if the ocean becomes full of plastics, where will we get our fishes, our tilapia? Should they start eating each other? When you look at even the sharks, they also feed on the fishes. The fishes also feed on these what do you call it? Our natural food sources that are in the ocean.
Okay.
They also feed on their bacteria. They also feed on fungi. But when it is all engulfed with plastics, with and it's not just plastics, but they are non-biodegradable. There are certain materials that can naturally break down itself into non-toxic compounds, very, very substances, and even turn into bacteria and fungi or food substances for other animals
Let's say like
to eat.
paper.
Let's say like paper. You understand? Very naturally, it will come and how will I say?
It dissolve itself and all that.
Non-toxic. That's one thing about it. But these plastics contains chemicals that are even toxic to the environment itself. When you look at polythene itself, when it gets into your body, when you swallow a polythene and it gets into your intestines, and it gets so some people even get some kind of choking in their intestines. Food cannot pass there and all that. So all of these things are some of the dangers that comes with the plastic. But I'm happy. The conversation that started so far many years ago about the use of plastics, there has been some improvement, especially when you look at some of these food companies that deal with the packaging. That's why we have to give them the credit. Usually when you go and buy even KFC, the popular ones, Christmas and all that, their packaging is in what do you call it, in paper way. So at least they are also contributing to their quota. But what we have to look at is our hajias on the road, our watches sellers and whatnot. They started resorting to what leaf. I mean, even experts, when you look at the health experts, they tell us that even buying food in your what do you call, in a polythene bag or even in these rubbers are not even health wise. It's not even advisable. So if you get it in the leaves, I mean, they should be encouraging people to be, so that when we can talk about the employment opportunities this can also provide. That's where people also, those who cut down the leaves, they also improve. When we look at companies also dealing with the styrofoam kind of plastics, they should also be able to, be innovative and creative way of giving us plastics that can easily be degraded into our environment, but not causing harm to the environment. Because this step by the government is very, very important. We'll have to make sure that because if we don't do that, our today every day this flood causing that has been occurring, our sanitation problems will continue to go on. Because when you look at the flood situation, it's also because of this. Aside the layout of our what do you call it? Yes, the layout of our drainage, even aside the layout of even the land, how we partition our lands and people build their houses in waterways. This is also one of the contributing factors, because the plastic goes to choke at one place. So it's not as if the more water comes, it will degrade itself. It is still there.
Still stuck there.
It is still stuck there. So it will continue to be there till. And that causes, it blocks these kind of pathways where the water would have to find a way. And that's where they come into our water body. So people have to appreciate the fact that the plastic go beyond even your health wise. It also causes this kind of havoc to us as human beings. Cause havoc to even the animals and plants, because even the sheep, they graze in these, whilst grazing, one of them can swallow a plastic or polythene, which will inevitably also affect its health and be able to install its food situations and whatnot. When you look at our oceans and our water bodies too, many people, we have fishing communities at Takoradi, Central region, all they are all depending on fish. So if we continue to use these plastics when you go to our beaches, I like the fact that some of the beaches that we patronize, especially Labadi beaches and what, they're able to deal with these kind of, but I don't know, we can't prevent some of them from entering the beach, the water bodies and whatnot. So the best thing to do is to ban the importation of these things, and deal with the ones that are here. However, if we have to go and bury them beneath, far from our water bodies, so that at least we're able to reduce these plastics in our country, because it's a very dangerous path that we are going as a country. Because when you read the books, they will tell you that some ocean, what do you call it? The marine organisms. Some of them are going extinct because of the plastics that are found in water, because they don't get food to eat. They don't get even what do you call it? Air to breathe, because the plastic sometimes will cover the ocean, the water bodies. So even penetration of air for them to be able to breathe is not there again. So I support this call by the president. This call should be, held by every well-meaning Ghanaian. This time around, we are looking at patriotism, love for country. People have to know that today is not just the NDC in government. It is the government with the people, moving with the people. Because the difference is very clear that even if you have a company, there's innovative ways. If you are dealing with styrofoam, plastic, there are innovative ways to also come up, be creative in also doing something new to help us as a nation.
Thank you there, Brian. Dennis.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Please, issues like this that threaten our this you can say this plastic pollution threatening our very existence.
Sure.
Issues like this, you don't need. I think the president, in announcing this, threw it into the air to see the reaction of Ghanaians. And issues with this, you don't act like that. Just we've given you the numbers in Parliament. Just go
ahead and
just go ahead and implement the law, because this it's threatening. I think. So I forgot the year, but there was a documentary on pollution in our water bodies, and the fisher folks in Shama, they reported that in deep waters, they see plastic in deep waters, not on the surface, deep waters,
like where the sharks and the whales
in deep waters. In deep waters, there are plastic there. So we should, in issues like this, it's you can equate it to Galamsey.
Wow.
Because this is more harmful.
Wow.
Even with Galamsey, nature would have its own way of repairing itself. But this, when it's biodegradable. It's non-biodegradable.
Non-biodegradable.
Non-biodegradable. So how are you going to do with it? So the best way is to cut it off. You shouldn't throw it into the air to see the reaction of Ghanaians.
You should just go ahead, implement
laws to ban it. And the manufacturers or the producers screaming at it. In Kenya, I think one of the Eastern African countries, there was a ban on it, and through the ban, people became rich by being innovative enough and venturing into paper production. So they should, like my brother said, they should be innovative enough. You should start thinking,
outside the box.
Even those producers, I was thinking that they would have been innovative enough to have two alternatives: paper bag production and plastic production, so that when you come, you have the option
to choose from.
You have an option to choose from. It's not that one way now, the easy way. No. It doesn't work like that.
Thank you, the gentlemen. I think our time is up, so we will be calling on the curtains very soon. But before we go, your last words before we go. Brahma, I will take you first.
Yeah, so I would like to thank the Almighty, for giving us life this day. I would like to also call on our president and his cabinet ministers and the government as a whole, commend them for the work so far. So good. I would like to also, thank the MP for Ayasu West Wagon, Honorable John DeMello, that we appreciate his works that he's doing for us on campus. I think during the Eid al-Adha celebrations, he went around almost all the major mosques in Ayawasu West constituency.
He gave them. Sorry, I even forgot to wish you happy Eid.
Sorry.
But where's my meat?
Oh, it will come later. The meat is plenty. We have to put it in order. I'll bring it later. So during that time, I was able to provide each mosque major constituency in the constituency. Yes, a cow.
Wow.
And it's not easy to be able to. So I think he's doing very good job as a MP for the area and as Deputy Minister of Agric. And one thing I like about it, they are locally bred cows. So it means that if a minister is doing this, it shows as an example to many Ghanaians that we don't need to import these cows or go and buy them from Burkina Faso and whatnot. The locally breed cows that are being used. I would like to also extend my greetings to the MP for West Central constituency, Honorable Rashid Pilpo, the Minister of Employment and Labor Relations as well. He's also doing a wonderful job at his ministry. I think currently roll out the work, what do you call it? It's a Dubai work project where people have been called to go and work in those countries. Yeah. Yes, he has been able to get UAE thing. So they're all doing their part, and I think we'd like to say kudos to him and his team. We appreciate all that he's doing. And to our Ghanaians as a whole, let us not be deceived by any jandam or anything. The social media is there. We have our computers and we have our laptops, we have our mobile phones. The best thing, whenever you see jandam is fake news. Verify. This government has goodwill. The confidence that has been imposed by Ghanaians on us is not a very is one that expects much from us. The government is doing its well. So the transport drivers to passengers and all that, they should rethink the transport operators their decision to go on and sit down strike. It will not help us. It will hurt all of us as a nation. They should show show of patriotism and love for country and do the right thing. I know that this level will come to help all of us as a country. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Brahma.
Thank you.
Denise.
Yeah. Thank you once again, and to my panelists, to all the panelists, and to the producer and everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And lastly, what I would like to add is the issue, the communication ministry, Honorable Sam George. The data issue. It seems all sector ministers are up and doing. You are the only one left out. So kindly look at this for us. Data is a necessity and not a luxury. Put the telecom communications, the telecom companies on their toes. Data in this country is quite expensive, and it shouldn't be a luxury that only few can afford. No, in this modern day and age, we need data to operate, and we need it at affordable rates. So kindly work on that for us. We call on you. That's the only thing I can say for now. And thank you so much.
Thank you very much too, gentlemen. Next week, Monday, we will be here with you for same conversations on social topics and political issues. Thank you to my producer. Thank you to the entire team. And this is where we call on the curtains. Up next is DJ Rock with some soothing music. Enjoy the rest of your day.